Yes, people! Welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world on this Friday. Cold Friday, actually. The sun's out, but it's a little bit cold. A little bit cold. Big up to every single one of you people that are here at the moment. Big show today. Chelsea versus Arsenal match preview. We're going to be getting into it. We have got some people hopefully joining us as we go through. Some Arsenal fans joining us. We've got Lewis joining us as well a little bit later in the show as well. And we're going to be talking on both sides. A bit about Arsenal, a bit about Chelsea, the comparisons, how confident the Arsenal fans are of beating us, how we feel coming into this game as well. It's a big one. It's definitely a big one. And it's always been quite a big game between Chelsea and Arsenal, in my opinion. I think we've always had a little bit of a biggish rivalry in a little while, shall I say. But yeah, big up to every single one of you guys that are here at the moment. I will be going through the chat first, talking to you guys in the chat, discussing some of the comments that you might have at the moment. We will be getting into the match preview as well. We're going to talk about formations, team lineups, comparing the teams, how Arsenal are going to line up, how Chelsea are going to line up. There's lots that we're going to be doing in and around today's show as well. But I need you guys to do one thing for me right now. Make sure you're smashing them likes. Smash them likes. I can see people slowly coming in as well. So big up to every single one of you that are coming through as we speak. And before we move forward, let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. Over 50 of you guys here already. Big up to every single one of you guys that have rolled through that are here currently at the moment. We are here to do the Chelsea versus Arsenal match preview today. I should hopefully be getting joined by some Arsenal fans at some point. I know Gal said he's going to roll through. I sent the link to Gunner King as well if he wants to come in. He said yes last night. I invited him. I said to the Arsenal fans, you want to come onto a Chelsea show and discuss it? Let's discuss the game. You know, we've got Lewis coming in as well in about 20 minutes time to discuss the game as well. So yeah, big up to every single one of you guys that are in the chat at the moment. Let's talk to the chat. Let's see how people are feeling in the chat. I want to ask you guys a question actually. Why are we in it? Why we're waiting for people? What is your feeling? What is your feelings in going into Sunday's game against Arsenal? Do you feel confident as Chelsea fans that we can go and get a result and win this game? Or do you feel that it falls upon maybe the way that Graham Potter sets up Chelsea? How he's going to, put us out in terms of team lineup. We know that we're suffering from injuries. We know that we're missing players already. Ben Chua added to the list. Reece James added to the list. There's a number of Igal just come through now. Big up to Igal. Igal, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Jim, it's been a long time. I haven't been on GNA TV in a long time. Love to see your growth, bro. Yeah. You've absolutely been smashing it, and the whole partnership with everyone over there. Great to see you doing well, man.
Yeah. And we've got Chelsea Fan TV viewers watching as well over here. So live on both shows at the moment. I'm sure you guys know it.
I sense a lot of apprehension and like fear from Chelsea fans based on the form that you guys have been on. And I know you never fear any team. You're very confident and you back your team all the time. But more pessimistic fans that I speak to that are Chelsea fans are like Prime and others are just basically telling me they're not confident at all. They're more scared.
Prime's never confident at Chelsea. Even when we're winning, he says we're going to lose. So Prime's probably not the best example, to be fair. But I know what you mean. A lot of people on Twitter at the moment are like very scared to come up against Arsenal. Yeah, I've seen it. I'm not joking.
I was in a space a couple of hours ago, and a girl was crying to me saying, "Igal, what do you want me to do? My team lost 4-0 to Brighton. You expect me to play top of the league Arsenal and win? I can't come with chest." But I want to know how you feeling, bro?
I feel good, mate. I'm always feel good. I was just before you come in was talking about the fact that we are missing players. We are. Yeah, at the end of the day, we've just now lost Ben Chilwell. We've lost Reece James, as you already know. Wesley Fofana's out. Kovacic could potentially be out. And N'Golo Kante's been gone forever, it feels like. These are 5 key players that you could look at and say are starters in Chelsea. And when you look at the Arsenal team and where you guys are at the moment, you could probably say that you haven't suffered from that yet. if you took 5 of your first team players out, like what's happened with Chelsea, and I know we've got a better bench. I think we do have a better bench than you guys, in my opinion, in terms of quality.
Can I tell you who's been injured before you say that?
Go on. Got him.
Thomas Partey's been injured. We've had Kieran Tierney injured. We've had Zinchenko injured. We've had, if I'm not mistaken, Mohamed Al-Neni injured. We've had not Jesus, but from the front three, we've had Emil Smith-Rowe injured for majority of the season. Bukayo Saka's picked up knocks here and there. You've had Martinelli pick up knocks here and there. But almost every single player in our team has gotten injured at certain points in the season. Only people who've been fit for every game and have never picked up an injury have been Gabriel, Saliba, Saka. But even Saka picked up some injuries. So it's like everyone's experiencing injuries. It's just your injuries are long-term injuries. How many long-term injuries do you have?
They hit us quite hard. And when you rely on creativity like we do from Reece James and from our wing-backs and whatever and Ben Chilwell, I'm not going to use it as an excuse because we brought in Cucurella. I think he's good enough as backup for Chilwell. Don't get me wrong. We know that we suffer from certain areas of our team in terms of quality, if that makes sense, when someone's out or they're injured. That we know. But going into this game, look, I'm always confident coming up to you. I know our form's not great. You guys for the last couple of games have had the results to compare to Chelsea. I get that. All right. I understand that. But I always look at Chelsea and Arsenal games being one of them games where I still feel it can go either way. However, from my opinion, and as a Chelsea fan, I do feel it depends on how with Chelsea, it's like how we set up. What is our lineup? Because as a Chelsea fan, it's so unpredictable to know who our 11 is going to be. As you know, when you look at Arsenal, for example, you kind of know the majority of your lineup, right? You know that that's your core they're going to play. With Chelsea, you don't get that. It's kind of like we're always like, is it going to be Havertz? It's like, how are we going to set up? So it's hard to make a judgment on our team, and I don't know how we're going to set up against you. It could be 4, could be a 3 at the back, and we're going to talk about all that obviously a bit later. But I want to start. Let's talk about Arsenal first. Obviously, Lewis is going to come through and whatever, and Gunner King maybe later on. He said as well. So you guys are on great form at the moment. All right, we know that. Obviously, you're sitting in the top of the league. You started well, 12 games in. Let's get the table up. You're sitting there.
Let me just bang on some points. Look at the difference.
Let me ask you a question.
Look at the difference in goal difference between us and you. That is the big, key difference that I would say.
You're scoring goals. Yeah,
because we're scoring goals and we're finishing. And you know what? We haven't even been finishing as good as I think we have. We could easily have 35 goals instead of 30. Goals conceded. We only conceded 11 goals. I think that's tied for second with Man City with least goals conceded. Defensively, we've been solid. Our midfield trio of Xhaka, Odegaard, and Partey have been crucial this season. But also another thing is Mikel Arteta has been able to sign his own spine. This is the first time we've gone into a season where he has signed
that time after 4 years.
Bro, he at this
4
point,
years. He's been given it. I mean,
he never signed an attacker until this summer. His first attacking signing was Jesus. He never signed an attacker. So then you have Jesus, you have Partey, you have Odegaard, and you have Ramsdale. Plus, you could say Saliba or Gabriel, whoever you want in the center back. So you go from goalkeeper, defender, midfield, and attack. You have Partey, who he signed. You have Odegaard or Partey. You have Jesus in defense. You can say Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, whoever you want. They've all been playing well, and Ramsdale. That has been our pillars to push on this season. And I would say, without that spine, we aren't the team that we are today. Mikel Arteta has done a really good job. That
goes to my next question for you. Obviously, you've had your minor injuries here and there. I don't think you've had an accumulative of injuries where you've suffered where 3 or 4 players are at any one time yet. I think it's always been Partey's out, but you still have kind of your main core there. But Partey's an important player, don't get me wrong. I think the way that he has been playing this season, I think as much as we talk about Jesus and Martinelli, I think Partey is equally as important in that midfield personally. But however,
Partey's not getting all the limelight.
He isn't. But what I will say is it's 12 games in. Obviously, you're on this real good run. I do feel eventually that you will have a blip in your form, and it may be after the World Cup. It will happen. Every team has that moment, right? It's like with me, it's like when Man City have a blip, they lose a game, but then they bounce back. And that's where you can tell they're going to be champions because they always find a way, don't they? With Arsenal, 12 games in, You've had some tough challenges. Don't get me wrong. You've played Liverpool. You beat them. Fair enough, right? Tottenham. Did you beat Tottenham or draw them? I can't remember.
We beat them at home.
You beat Tottenham as well. So you've played some, some decent teams up in that, and you're beating some of the lower teams. However, from what I've seen the last couple of games from Arsenal, I don't feel that you're playing to the levels you was earlier in the season. I feel like you're struggling. You're starting to see a bit of a struggle. No, you smashed Nottingham Forest, but everyone can beat Nottingham Forest again. It's Nottingham Forest, mate. Like, I'm not going to judge.
Liverpool didn't beat them. Just saying.
Yeah, I know, but I would expect Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. It doesn't matter how many goals. I expect us to beat them teams.
You would also expect to beat Brighton, and you did lose 4-1 to Brighton. So it's like there's no easy
Brighton are a good team.
There's no easy games in the Premier League. That's all I'm saying.
Brighton are a good team. Brighton are not Forest.
There's no easy games in the Premier League.
No, there isn't.
The same teams that we're beating, the same teams that we consistently are getting results against, are the same teams that are picking up points versus Liverpool, Man City. Some of the teams that have picked up points off of Man City this season, we've beaten. Crystal Palace usually pick up points off Man City. Aston Villa this season picked up points off Man City. We beat them convincingly at the Emirates. So
yes, I get that, but you do still have to play them again. That's my point. It's only 12 games in. There's still a long way to go. And as an Arsenal fan, I'll ask you this, because I've asked a couple of Arsenal fans on Twitter this question before as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Arsenal are in a position to win a title or a Premier League this season, or do you feel that it's a little step too far to do that, in your opinion, or do you think you just need to see at this point?
You know what? We're playing well right now, and the way that we're playing, I do see us finishing in the top the table, in the top 4, and finishing in the top 2 spots. But for us to finish first, we would need the experience to get us in through this title. I don't think we have the experience to get us through the title a title campaign. Plus, we currently don't have the squad to do so. As we'd say, certain players in our squad, if they go down, we're going to have a massive issue. We need to be extremely fortunate, and there would be a lot of ifs in order for us to get there. So at this moment in time, I would say it would be extremely difficult.
So what we're saying is it hangs on injuries, obviously, because if you pick up some injuries to key players at a multiple time, that could be a problem.
Let's just say we need to have a lot of luck go our way. In the sense of Man City consistently dropping points, and Arsenal sustaining our health with some of our key players like Thomas Partey, Saka. We don't have replacements for those guys. They go down.
I agree. That's where I think you will fall short, in my opinion. And when I look at the way that you have played so far, I think you've played some amazing.
In my sense, of
you will.
Our expectations were not to win the league this year.
But I mean, fall short from where you are currently, which is where you are, top of the league right now. And that is you dropping down, falling short, in my opinion. But the reason you like I was trying to get to, the reason that will happen is like you said, though. I don't think you have the strength in depth, Arsenal, in my opinion. You will have to keep all the players fit. There will also have to be rotation in and out games, because we're playing twice a week. That does catch up on players, and ultimately, I don't think that you're prepared for. For that in certain positions. However, I ain't going to knock what Arsenal have done up to this point. I think what Arsenal have done up to this point has probably surprised a lot of people. If you ask people at the beginning of the season, where do you think Arsenal were going to finish? I don't think anyone would have said in the first 12 games they'll be sitting top on 31 points. I don't think anyone would. Yeah, I think even I said 5th, to be honest.
You know what? After 5 games, I would have predicted us to be first. Because I seen our first 5 games, I would have predicted us to win all our games. And once we started winning our 5 games, I said we could go undefeated in October. We are playing so well right now that unless something catastrophic happens to the squad, I don't see us dropping off. I really don't see us dropping off.
Well,
I could see us winning. Sorry?
Put it this way, mate. I get all that, what you're saying. And at the moment, you're on the same level of games as Man City, but there's only a 2-point difference. And this is Arsenal playing so well at the moment. And this is Man City, you could argue, playing good as well to a degree. Obviously, got 1 loss in between their last 5 games as well. My point is this. Chelsea last season in December were top of the league by 6 or 7 points. All right. We've got into that December period. I know we're not going to have that because of the World Cup. We lost Reece James. We lost Ben Chilwell. COVID kicked in. You remember, it was a nightmare that month. If you remember, everyone was dropping points, playing games. Some teams weren't playing, others was. By January the 3rd or 4th, we had Man City and Liverpool back to back, right? We lost one of them and drew the other, from what I can remember. By the time we got to January, we were 7 points off Man City at the top and we were third. Do you see how quick it goes from being where you are right now to that dip in form, having the injuries you do, to them being third? And that's why I'm trying to get you. The Premier League is one of them things where it's like, yeah, it looks good, and on hindsight, you know, you could carry out. I felt the same with Chelsea last season in terms of how far ahead we was. Things change so quickly in the Premier League, is what I'm saying, and you should know that. You've seen how the table does that for all teams. You know, it's mad.
I fully agree, but I fully agree. But this season, the differential between Arsenal and Chelsea and Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool right now is the fact that we are starting off with such a good gap between. You remember last year with Chelsea, even though you went through such a poor back end of your season, your good start to the season gave you that bridge to comfortably still finish in the top 4, even though you guys were dropping points left, right, center at the end of the season. And I feel like Arsenal, we're starting off so well that we are almost a lock for top 4 this early in the season, and we're pretty much guaranteed to finish in one of those Champions League spots next year. And I don't see us dropping out of that.
You say that, but from where Chelsea are in 6th and we're not in great form to where Arsenal are in 1st, there's a 10-point difference.
And how many games? You also have to look at goal difference. That's basically another 3 points.
Yeah, but then that's only if you're on the same points. If you draw, say we're very close and you draw and we're 2 points behind and we win, we go above. So my point is, 10 points from 1st to 6th is not the most biggest gap as you think when you look at the teams that are still winning. Man United are running into good form. Newcastle have been very good, even though I expect them to drop off soon. Tottenham, I don't think we'll finish in Champions League from what I'm seeing at the moment, potentially. You know, I expect Arsenal to get Champions League. I do.
The reason why you don't rate Tottenham is because the way that they're playing, the way that Arsenal are playing, you can't say that we're not playing a way that's not sustainable.
You're not playing. You're playing in. I'll tell you who you're playing like, and I've been watching you a little bit recently. You're playing like Liverpool when Mane, Salah, and Firmino were there. And what I mean by that is that the way that you come out in the first half of games, high intensity from the front, win the ball back quickly, create as many chances as you possibly can in the first half hour, 40 minutes, which you do very well. The intensity is good because you have 3 players up front that are high intensity players that press defenses, that push for people to make decisions. And when they do win the ball and they're at that high up, you've got the Odegaards that can create and make the opportunity. And my point is, Liverpool used to do it. People used to go Anfield or away where they would hit you for the first 30 minutes, right? And they would try and get one in front. Problem is, once you get one in front and you're behind against a Liverpool team, it was very hard to get back. What I've seen from Arsenal in the first 12 games is that the fact that you get in the face, you get your goal, you kind of expect pressure to come the other way, but you kind of full hammer and tong and you just go for it. And that partly shows to your goal difference in terms of how many goals you've scored recently as well. I just see you doing the same thing. But after a while in games, and the Man United game's a good example, you come out hammer and tong against Man United in that first 30 minutes, and you were better than them as well in that first half, right? But they stayed in there and they were still there. After a while in that game, I looked at you and it just looked like there was no plan B. And it reminded me of that Liverpool team. It's exactly like that Liverpool team.
Which game?
The Man United game.
Okay. The difference between the Man United game and the other games is Thomas Partey hasn't played in that game. We're undefeated.
Okay. All right. I get that.
You as anyone should know how one player who is in the middle of that midfield can change the whole team. And I'm just saying, Thomas Partey being available is going to be a big difference. But yeah,
I'm talking about the way you play, though. Even in that game, you were so intense.
Thomas Partey and El Neni, and we have Lokonga there. The drop off in the midfield is so bad that's why you have so much space to just walk right through. If you remember, Eriksen basically played 2 balls that opened up the midfield twice in the game. And later in the game, we chased the game. The 3rd goal, we conceded it because we were just silly. Realistically, that Man United game, if Thomas Partey was playing, I think it's a different story. The reason why you're going to find it a little bit more difficult is because our midfield is so much more complete than it's ever been. And
I get that,
against Leeds and against some of these other teams, the reason why we struggled, honestly, you're right. We tire later in games, and away from home, you can see that more often than you do at home. So in the first 20, 30 minutes, if we don't score a goal, and Chelsea go into halftime with a lead or a tight game, you could definitely find yourselves with the advantage in the second half.
That's what I was going to say to you. From our perspective, going into this game, we're going to talk more about Chelsea Arsenal now in a second, but I think the first goal is so important on Sunday for both teams, because even though you have had it, in the last couple of games, you've had one up on us. I look at the goals that we conceded, and a lot of them were individual errors. And I'm not talking about pre-season. Forget the pre-season game. That I'm talking about the Premier League games that we've had against you. We've really made some errors of ourselves. And that was down to, again, Arsenal playing that high press. They came to the bridge and they took it to us, However, if Chelsea go one up in this game, I don't think Arsenal change their plan. I think they'll still, get the ball. They'll press high and they'll try and. I just feel that you do that and we pick you out well enough and we don't make the mistakes when you do press us higher up the pitch, which you will do with the front three. Yeah. If we do somehow manage to break past that and then break through that midfield with Mount or Havertz and that sitting in them pockets and then turn with Aubameyang and Sterling in front, I think we can give you problems. I do. I think that's something but we have to get it tactically spot on is what I'm saying. It has to be like that.
What do you think will cause us problems?
What I think will cause you problems is, number one, the way that we have to set up originally in terms of how we play, moving the ball quick, but also when we get the ball, not to panic and make the right decisions with the ball, because sometimes I feel that our problems, or even in the Brighton game, if you look at the Brighton game, is that we know what we need to do, but sometimes the individual players themselves just lack a bit of concentration, or they make an individual error that ends up completely cuffing us up, and then you end up catching us. If we can get every player that's playing to understand what they need to do, play to the role that's been required by the manager, which is what I think is going to be one touch, moving the ball forward, being progressive, like we did against Zagreb in the week. Yeah. If we can do that and be in control of that and limit the ball coming to your front three as much as we can, win the ball back quickly as possible. And then also we've got to win the midfield battle. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot to do here. And win the midfield battle. But I think we'll win this game.
Okay, let me just stop you there. Also, are we still looking at the table? Because I'm just a little confused.
Yeah. Well, we're going to come off the table now anyway.
When it comes to your team, I'm looking at your team. Depending on who you play in your wing backs, it's going to be a completely different situation. Because the main reason why you guys were scoring goals and creating a lot of chances was because of your wing backs. And now, if you have a Loftus-Cheek or a Cucurella on either side, I'm looking at that as you're not going to have that extra bit of creativity in your team, and you already lack that creativity.
Correa's good game for. He's quite progressive.
Let's be honest. Without Chilwell and Reece James on both flanks, or having at least two good wing backs,
I get that. Natural wing backs.
You're going to lack the creativity, and you guys already lack creativity to a certain extent. Then you're going to play a midfield of Kovacic and Jorginho potentially. If you play that midfield, what?
Or Zakaria, if he gets a chance again.
Okay, so Zakaria and who? Kovacic?
I don't think. I mean, we're waiting to see if Kovacic is fit, because at the moment he was injured from recently. So if he's fit, then it will be, I think, Kovacic and Jorginho. However, I think Jorginho will play anyway.
Okay. But so going back to the midfield battle, we're gonna have Partey, we're gonna have Xhaka, and potentially we could even have Zinchenko or tucking into that midfield, or whoever is in that left back position also helping out. If Tierney starts, that's one less person in the midfield for you guys, so that would be an advantage in the midfield. Also, Saka drops deep, Jesus drops deep, so you're gonna find a situation where you could
let's do your lineup quickly. Let's do your lineup.
Okay, you're gonna have Ramsdale.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel. Right. The left back is going to either be Tierney or Zinchenko. Tomiyasu's injured, so it's going to be either Tierney or Zinchenko. Right now, I think it would be Tierney. Right. Then I'm going to go midfield. It's going to be Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka on the right wing, Jesus up top, and Martinelli on the left. And the thing is, you're going to have issues with your fullbacks. Your wing backs are going to have to defend. It's going to be either Azpilicueta or Loftus-Cheek on the right wing defending against Martinelli. That is going to be a nightmare for them.
Can I ask you something? Is Saka fit? Because apparently he was injured.
Saka is fit. He played even against Zurich last night. So I'm looking at the key matchups, Jem, that I'm looking at is your wing backs versus our wingers. Our wingers this season, Bukayo Saka and Martinelli have taken their game to another level. And you currently have fullback issues where creatively is going to hurt you and defensively is going to hurt you. So it's now a double whammy, and it couldn't have happened to you guys at a worse time, but a better time for us.
Better time for use. Yeah, of course it is. I get that, and a lot of what you're saying is spot on when it comes to Chelsea, and based on what we've seen up to this point. However, the big if with Chelsea is how we set up, and this is why I said to you about the lineup, because against Zagreb in the week we played a back four, and we played four. We played a 4-2.
I would love that.
It was a 4-2. It was a 4-2-2. You would, and to be honest, I do think it's quite a risk us doing that in this game. I'd like to see us play this maybe with a not as good quality team as what maybe Arsenal are, and just see how it goes. Whether or not Potter takes that risk to do that will be interesting, because if he does do that, which it will be interesting, we will have an additional effect, an additional attack on it. So we'll stick with this for a second, right? Because this is what you feel is going to be your lineup, right? I would probably go far to say that this is your strongest lineup on paper, right? Like, is this it? So you're not missing any of your
Zinchenko playing for Tierney would be our strongest lineup.
What do you think Zinchenko's going to play?
No, our strongest lineup would be Zinchenko over Tierney.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he fit though? Is he going to play? Yeah, do you reckon? Okay, so all right, so that is your strongest lineup, right? And that's pretty much going to be starting, right? I know Ben White's played well as a right back, but is he really a right back?
Ben White has been one of the best right backs in the country this season.
Yeah, but he's not a right back though, is he? I mean, he can do a job, but he's not.
Look, Cafu was not a centre back. He was a right back, not Cafu. I'm talking about Maldini, right? I'm not comparing him to Maldini, but I'm saying players played out of position in defense is not foreign to anybody. He's playing out of position, but he's making it his position. He's performing so well that it's shifting Tomiyasu to the left. Ben White this season has been a revelation. He's even now getting involved. He's now even getting involved in goals, overlapping. He overlapped with Reece Nelson yesterday and created the goal for Tierney. So it's like he's doing well. As long as he's playing in that position, he's undroppable. He's probably one of the most key players in this team. And the thing that he does, he is a former midfielder, center back that can also play right back. He's a jack of all trades. So he's very good. And in that right back position this season, defensively, one-on-ones, he's been solid. Offensively, he's even gotten involved in some assists and control over the game. He allows us more control because now we can go to a back three when our left back goes forward.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. Your team at the moment is a team just in form. I think you have good players. I don't think you have world-class players.
That's harsh.
I don't think you have world-class players, no.
No. But to say we're just in form.
I just think you're an informed, good team at the moment, yeah.
Bro, we're not just in form. This is very sustainable, what we're doing.
How do you know it's sustainable when you just played 12 games?
Bro, the way that we're playing, in the fashion that we're playing, in the way that we're winning these games and grinding out results.
We've done the same thing last season.
Not all of them have just been based on form. We've been out of form in some of these games.
We've done the same thing last season.
No,
until
it's not
December.
The same.
We were 6 points ahead in December, and we got loads of injuries, and we were then third in January.
The difference,
and we were saying the same thing.
Are you saying Chelsea did the same thing or Arsenal? I'm confused.
Chelsea. I'm talking about Chelsea. We were top in December, 6 points ahead, and we were in form, and we were winning games comfortably, and we were doing our thing at that point. You're saying to me that it's sustainable. Yeah, you feel it's sustainable, but you can't say it's sustainable based on only 12 games. You can't pick up to Lewis. You can't say it's sustainable on just watching 12 games ago. What I'm saying to you is you have a good team in form right now. You can't, and you're saying, well, no, because it's sustainable. It's not, from what I've seen, been confirmed sustainable because you've not played.
What's not sustainable about being outpossessing your opponents, creating more chances than them, and conceding less chances than them to all your opponents?
Because you need to do it more than 12 games. I need to see it at least over a 3.5 or 3/4 period of a season. Things change very quickly. So let me tell you something now, right? Let me ask you this. You played 12 games and you've been very good for it, all right? You deserve to be where you are. I'm not taking that away from you guys, all right? If the next 10 games you only win 3 games, but then you draw 3 games and you lose 3 games, what does that mean then? What does that tell you with this squad?
We have to see what happens. There has to be more.
Because that could happen, couldn't it? We don't know, but that could happen.
I don't think if I go to our next, how many games did you say?
You've played 12 games. You're telling me this is sustainable with 12 games. I'm telling you it's
our next couple of games is Chelsea, right? Wolves, West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle. I would say out of those next couple of games, Chelsea, West Ham. I was West Ham and Wolves and Brighton, Newcastle. Those are the other games after we play Chelsea. Hypothetically, if we lost to you guys, right? And then we drop points to Wolves, I would be concerned immediately because that's 2 back-to-back poor performances. But what I expect from this Arsenal team is I would expect us to pick up points against Wolves. I would expect us to pick up points against West Ham. I'd expect us to pick up points versus Brighton. I would say only the Newcastle and the Chelsea game would be the tough games in these fixtures. I believe that this Arsenal team right now is playing so well that defensively we don't concede too many chances against teams that are lesser than us, and they struggle to create chances against us. And offensively, that's where sometimes we can get undone. Maybe we'll drop points because we can't score enough goals.
We're just not sure how consistent you are going to be with it. That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong and you could be right, and you could continue this all the way through the season. But you ain't. Let me just say this. Let me just say this, right? Gabriel Jesus hasn't scored in how many games now? 8 games, 0 goals. Yeah,
doesn't matter because his performances are still man of the match
level.
He's
got the same levels of goals as Kai Havertz in all competitions. 5 goals.
He has 5 goals in the
Premier League. No way. That's true.
He has 5 goals in the Premier League.
And that's it. And he's played 8 games, or was it, or 6 games in the Europa League, and he started them games and he scored 0.
No. He started 2 games in the Europa League.
No, let me have a look. He has played in the Europa League 5 matches, 0 goals, 1 assist. He's played in the Premier League.
He started 2 games.
He's played 12.
You're telling me Jesus isn't scoring against Farmers in the Europa League group stages? Fucking hell,
in the Premier League, he scored 12. He's played 12 matches and scored 5 goals. That's it. He's only scored 5 goals. Havertz has scored 5 goals.
You can't compare Jesus and Havertz because Havertz is not actually impacting the game. Outside, he's not impacting the game outside.
Yeah, but he's got the same level of goals, mate. And this is the guy that you all big up and say he's well.
It doesn't matter if one player. If one player is scoring 5 goals and the other player is scoring 5 goals, but one is impacting the game and getting your team more results, which one would you rather have?
How is he impacting games for you guys? From someone who doesn't watch Arsenal a lot, how is he impacting?
This is how he's impacting the game. Do you know how many assists he's also acquired in this time?
5.
No.
Yeah. So he has 5 assists in all competitions. We're just ignoring that fact. We're just looking at his goals. That's 1. Number 2, he's raised the levels of the whole front 3. Martinelli is getting more goals. Saka is getting more involved in the game. He's also the midfield is getting more involved in the game.
How is he impacting them?
How is he impacting the game? He's missing chances. Arsenal fans are saying he's missing easy fucking Sterling style chances.
Guess what? His addition, he might be only scoring 5 goals, but you're not looking at it. All 5 of the guys behind him have increased their levels in goal scoring because of him.
No, but how has he influenced them? That's what I want.
He has. This is how he's.
No, how has he?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
He's taking play. He is able to drift in and move into different areas of the pitch because of his flexibility. Allow Bukayo Saka to cut inside to get more open spaces for his goals. Allow Martinelli to cut inside, get open spaces for his goals. Drift in deeper to allow Odegaard and Xhaka to get into more goal scoring positions to get their goals, and is now culminated in the whole team scoring more goals. You're looking at Jesus alone, only 5 goals. But if you look at it, he's created the most chances in the league. He's doing more than just what he's scoring. And these goals, yes, he needs to score more. Yes, 5 goals is poor. But what he's doing outside of that, 0
goals ago. Let me just say this. Let me just say this one thing, right? Our fan base. You disagree with what I said about me, but yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. But our fan base. And I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about others, including this one below, all right? Criticize Kai Havertz for the numbers of goals he scores, right? You guys, on the other hand, are bigging up how great this guy is, but he scored 5 goals, exactly the same as him. And I know you're saying he affects the game, but I used to say the same thing. Wait a second. I used to say the same thing to Havertz about affecting the game. Lewis knows because I said the same thing. I used to argue the same thing when his outputs wasn't there. So in theory, what's the difference? That's what I'm asking right now. What's the difference?
Apparently, Jesus is influencing the team more and has more assists. But I won't.
That's what we said about Havertz, though, isn't it?
I'm here to back the Chelsea today. Fuck Arsenal. So we won't do any infighting. We'll do a truce for today.
You guys are serious. You're saying Havertz. Okay, how many?
No, don't include me in that.
One second. How many big chances has Havertz created in the Premier League this season? I'll tell you, 0. Jesus has created 5 big chances outside of just scoring. Outside of just scoring goals,
that's not true. He's created 3 big chances actually.
No, based on the Premier League website.
Fuck, we're close. Let's go. What's that?
One second. Based on the Premier League's website, are you looking all competitions? Because I'm looking based on the Premier League's website this season. He's created 0 big chances in comparison to Jesus.
Gem, was that all competitions?
No, yeah, that's all comp. That is all comp.
Fucking Salzburg.
Then if you want to take away stats, let me ask you this: when it comes to a 90-minute performance, when you look at Kai Havertz after a 90-minute performance, do you say this guy's worked his socks off, but he didn't score a goal?
No, but my point is this: it's not the reason I brought up Kai Havertz was not to compare the two in terms of position. I'm bringing him up on this one basis of the fact that you guys pumped this guy up so as in being this great striker who's going to score 20 goals a season, but he's not scored in his last 8 games. And he's got the same amount of goals as Kai Havertz. But then you're saying, well, he's affecting it differently in the game, which is what we say about Kai Havertz. So I'm not comparing them in terms of talent. I'm just comparing them where they are in terms of stats at this moment in time.
Okay, you can compare the stats, but the impacts is 2 completely different things. If you replace Jesus with Kai Havertz, we'd be a worse team, and you'd be a better team for it, based off his ability off the ball.
I don't know about that, mate.
I'm gonna go on mute.
I disagree with that.
Don't forget.
You go on mute. Yeah, you go on mute.
Don't even forget that there's other intangibles outside of just putting the ball in the back of the net. The guy makes everyone around.
I know that. I tell these lot the same thing about.
Do not do this.
Yeah. I tell him a lot of the time as well. I know, but I just feel like they're very the same then, aren't they?
No.
Listen, let me ask you this. Is Gabriel Jesus a prolific striker?
No, he's not.
Okay. So what is it that you expect him to score in terms of number of goals in all competitions this season?
Between 15 to 18.
I think that's achievable. What's he on at the moment? 5. He's got to get another 10 to 13 goals in all comps. Yeah.
I didn't expect this guy to come in and score 25 plus goals this season. Let's be real. But I always said if he's able to get what Harry Kane got last year, which is like 17 goals, that's achievable.
Fairs. All right, we're going to move from talking loads of Arsenal because we've been talking a lot of Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea before Regal to disappear at some point. Let's ask you, Regal.
I look at Chelsea, and you tell me if this is harsh. But defensively, you guys look poor. Midfield wise, you guys look poor. Your goalkeeper, you've changed your goalkeepers, and you have competition in place there, and it's actually raised the levels of competition in that situation, and it's caused you guys to have one of the more informed goalkeepers in Kepa. At the time, he's not even going to play this game though. Unfortunately, I don't know why.
Injured.
I think he's injured. Yeah, and you also have an attack that's not in gear. So from all 3 phases of your from your defense to your midfield to your attack looks disjointed. Could that be because of a manager change? Yes. Should people get onto Graham Potter? No. You need to give this guy time. I think your players have massively let down both of your former manager and your current manager. I'm seeing defensive errors. I'm seeing defensive errors week in, week out. Errors leading to goals. Midfielders that are not creating.
Defense has been one of our best things, to be honest.
It's a bit true.
I'm watching that game versus Brighton, and I'm looking at the defense, and
You're just talking about Brighton specifically.
Okay, I'm looking.
No, our defense has been leaky for the last few games.
I'm saying every area of the pitch has let you down in one way or another. You've had major injuries in your defense, hence why your defense is now looking shaky. That was the only part that was looking good. Your midfield, N'Golo Kante injury, Kovacic being injured, Jorginho not looking like he's in peak form. I don't know what's going on with Mason Mount this season. I think he's been off his game. I'm looking at your whole front 3. Aubameyang. I'm just going to end it off with this. Your midfield and your attack are not connecting. That is the biggest issue you guys have.
We know that.
Until you figure out how you're going to get that to work.
Well, we know what it is. I know what it is.
What attackers you bring into your club, you could have Haaland. You're never going to get anywhere unless those two.
Again, we are in a, and as much as I keep telling Chelsea fans this, I don't like to hear it. We are actually in a transitional phase still.
And I said this to people on the terrace. They laughed at me. I said, you need to rebuild. You need to.
Yeah, we are.
Go and
you're right.
People laughed at that.
They laughed
What's
at
so
me.
funny about that?
How dare you compare our rebuild to your rebuild? And I'm saying it's not an insult to say you need to go.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I'm screaming, trust the process, and I thought I'd never utter those dirty words in my life. And when we're here, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Listen, we are in a massive transitional period. Not only just on the pitch, we've had balled. How long ago did we lose Roman Abramovich? A couple of months ago. Do you know what I mean? Like people forget that we're still trying to put the pieces of the puzzle in the backgrounds, in recruitment, in board members, in the philosophy that we want to go to in the next couple of years, which we're going to wait and see for. We just stacked Thomas Tuchel on the back of backing him in the summer window and then putting Graham Potter and said, "Here, he's a crop of players. Do what you can for now." Do you know what I mean? And he's trying to still play. He's going to make mistakes, of course he is, because he's trying to work his system along with trying to get the players to fit in it and do things and whatever. It's going to happen. This is why I said to Chelsea fans, we're going to lose games. We're going to draw games horrible. We're going to win games. And it's going to look quite nice. But we're not going to see what I feel is a consistent patch, what we need to do, which will allow us to compete for the top. Yeah, we're not there yet.
I literally said this. You know what else I said? When you guys got Graham Potter, don't expect to see dramatic changes the next day.
You ain't going to see Potterball yet. I'm telling you now.
I haven't seen any change. I didn't expect
You're going to see the same as Thomas Tuchel for the remainder of the season until he actually gets his proper preseason, gets some of his a couple more changes. And believe it or not, this is another thing people laughed about, because when you change managers, you need to keep some of the principles in place. You can't just chuck everything in the bin and start again.
True, that's true. He's suspect.
I'm gonna say this. I don't think this season Chelsea and Manchester United, the only difference is that your manager has already played in the Premier League. You two are going to be in the similar around positions at the end of the season. It depends. The difference between Chelsea and Man United is going to be who can get a good run of games together and who can actually get their team fit and available for the back end of the season. Because you guys have had massive injuries. Man United have been fortunate with injuries, and you're finding yourselves very close right now.
Let me ask Lewis this. Lewis, Chelsea, Arsenal on the weekend. How did Chelsea beat Arsenal? In what is it again? How we set up? Is it certain personnel? Like, what do you think are the so-called maybe weaknesses in Arsenal, if there is any, for us to attack?
For us, like, we're going into this game as the underdogs. I think in terms of setup, we do still need 3 in midfield, but we need 3 at the back too. So I'd expect us to go for another 3-5-2 formation or something similar like that. If we play 2 in midfield, we're getting fucked. If we play 4 at the back, we're getting fucked. If we start games slowly, which we have a really bad habit of doing this season, we're getting fucked. So it's all about the first 30 minutes. If we hit the ground running, if we not say take the game to Arsenal, because I would actually rather we sit back and try and absorb pressure. But as long as we don't fall asleep, as long as we aren't complacent, and as long as we don't make stupid mistakes in possession, we can give them a game. Like, regardless of the last 2 results at the Bridge, I keep saying Arsenal could have played as well as they had played in those 2 games. Our problem was ourselves. Individual mistakes in the last time we played, the other time we won the Bridge. And if we are switched on, we can 100% have an even match against Arsenal. And it could 100%. Go either way. We could still lose, but we could still win as well. If we don't start the game well, though, we're getting fucked.
When was the last time you went to the Bridge and beat Arsenal?
2018, I think Sarri season.
Yeah.
It's been 1 draw, 2 losses.
It just goes to show you that, like, you guys have not had this fortress anymore. Like, Chelsea's ground has been... a lot of teams have been able to pick up points there.
But ain't we unbeaten this season at home?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't think we've lost at home.
No, not yet.
Okay, but that means you're getting drawn.
iOS, if we attack Arsenal, we're getting fucked. Simple as.
What do you mean? I need to know something. You said if you play a back 4, you're fucked, and if you play a midfield 2, you're effed. So how are you going to play? How are you going to play a back 3? How are you going to play a back 3 without 2 midfielders?
3-5-2. Well, 5-3-2. And that can work. We could play Havertz and Aubameyang, Mount or Sterling in behind, 3 in midfield as usual. And yeah, we need Thiago Silva in the squad. Koulibaly would play, and Chalobah can't get benched. So I think we have to stick to a back 5 in general. And I don't want Aspi at right back.
I think we can.
Conor Gallagher is going to play, because what he did against us. Conor Gallagher, what he did against us against Crystal Palace was he basically spent the whole 90 minutes on Thomas Partey, just trying to block him from receiving the ball.
Potentially. I don't know.
It's going to be Mount instead, and we all know it.
But he could play... It just depends how he sets up, doesn't it, really? Because he could play Gallagher and Mount, and we've seen it, where he plays both of them in the same team. I just think it's as easy as this for me. Like I said to you earlier, Gal, we do need to make sure that we move the ball well at the back, you are going to come out and press. I just know it. You're going to do the old Liverpool way of trying to win the ball quickly back, create as many chances as we can, and take 1 or 2 of them. That's what you're going to do for the first half hour. But it's going to fall down to Chelsea to do what Lewis said a little bit, maybe take a bit of pressure, but at the same time, when we are that deep and we have got the ball, it's about maybe breaking the press and also finding the right passes. And something that I saw Jorginho do in the last game, and I don't even rate Jorginho that highly, Lewis knows this, but from what I saw in the last game with Jorginho picking the ball up and looking forward and playing the ball quickly into a Havertz or a Mount into the pockets of spaces where Partey's going to be, you know, these are things that are going to be key to how quick we can transition up the pitch and then maybe try and switch it on you guys, you know. And I think we can be used. I do feel we can be used, even without Reece James, Ben Chilwell, and whatever. It really falls on Graham Potter and how he sets us up and the system that he plays and the 3 that we have up front. Does he play Havertz as a 10, or are we going to see the thing that we did against Brighton? Starts playing Havertz as a false 9, and I'm just like, why would you do that? You know, these are things that Chelsea fans, we can't tell you until we see the lineup.
When we see the lineup, done him as a false 9 recently, at least he's actually.
But you are able to get at. Look, if you look at the Man United game, and then when they beat you, they got at you quite easily. Let's not lie. They got at you quite easily, and they broke you down quite easily. So it's not like you're this formidable team. I don't think Arsenal are this unbelievable
Partey was not
team.
playing against Man United. Don't use Man United as the example. That is not the rule. Thomas Partey is fully fit. If you can find another example of a team that were easy to break us down when Thomas Partey was present, please explain that one.
Well, was Southampton, when you drew against Southampton, did they sit back and hit you on transition, or was it more of an even?
What they did was they held off until late in the game, and then they grew as the game grew. If it's a tight game going into the final 20-30 minutes of the game, that's how you guys are going to win. Because what we do is we tend to score a lot of goals early. And in that Southampton game, I'm not going to lie to you, there was a lot of questionable refereing decisions, but I'm not going to get into that. I just felt like we should have buried the game off ourselves in the first 20-30 minutes. If you guys go into halftime up, or go into the second game and start to grow into the game and see us tired, that's the only way you're going to win.
And also, if Arsenal don't play to the intensity that they tend to play at as well, that can be a problem, because there has been games ago where you haven't done that, right? And it's gone against you.
Intensity away from home, because the crowd and the fans backing you can give you that extra bit of energy. But what we found is Mikel Arteta has lately been making the right substitutions to give us that little burst of energy coming off the bench in the second half, where he might not have been able to do earlier weeks because we didn't have the squad depth. Now we're having a lot more of our players back ready to go. And key thing is, if Zinchenko starts, your midfield's finished. You now have another player in that midfield. You're done for. And I don't think you guys have the wingers to exploit that on the right side this week.
Well, I don't know. I mean, our best bet is transition. Like, I think because you guys would probably play high up if we give you a bit of pressure to deal with. And I think if we play the likes of Havertz, Aubameyang, Sterling, like, we could cause some damage on transition, because that's where you get the best out of all of them. So I think if we win, you have to absorb pressure.
I think Martinelli is going to rip you guys apart. Basically,
depends who's on the right.
Depends on the right, because if it's Chalobah, I don't think he does that.
Chalobah or Azpilicueta, I think he's faster than both of them.
No. Trev's got good recovery.
Chalobah's quick.
You'll see something different.
Very quick.
Yeah, and when it comes to Aubameyang, Saliba and Gabriel are going to have him on lock. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a situation.
Yeah, but we don't play. If we play like we did, where we don't play with a specific striker and we have Aubameyang on one side and Sterling on the other, but as a wider, but it's very hard. And I think he might do that. Look, I know it sounds really weird, but I think he might take a punt and do this again. You know that.
Sterling, Aubameyang, and probably
like Havertz. So like it was quite clever, because I was watching what he did. He put Aubameyang. You know, Aubameyang, when he played for Arsenal ago, he played off the left a bit, didn't he? Where he sort of drifted into the middle. So we done that against Zagreb, where he sort of was still a striker, but it was like a wide striker. Sterling was on the right, but he was a wide striker. So they were both just wide. They wasn't close to each other in the middle.
By the way,
who?
Kepa's out until after the World Cup, by the way.
No, it is what it is, isn't it? That doesn't mean anything to me. Mendy's going to be in. And Havertz was the one in between, like the false 9, doing like what Firmino does, where he comes and he does meet with the centre-backs, but then he also comes deep. And then he comes deep, and the centre-backs, they don't know whether to go or worry about Aubameyang and Sterling on each side, who would then come and direct in behind them like that. So I think he might do that just so that they ain't got to focus. It could work. That's what I'm saying. It could catch you out because your centre backs might not know whether to go with Havertz, which will then create space behind them, which Aubameyang will then run into and drag Ben White into. Like, I think it's going to be very tactical, is what I'm saying. We could see that. However, if we do that, that means we're playing a back four, and I'm not too sure if we're going to.
All depends. If they cut Havertz off, then they cut out all the supply to the attack. Then, and sadly, I do think it'd be pretty easy for them to do that.
I'm gonna have to go.
On the game.
I'm going to have to go, but I'm going to say the only way you guys have a good result in this game is if it's a low-scoring game, because I don't feel like you guys have the goals in you to have like.
I just think it's who scores first. If we score first, I think it's the first goal for me personally. Whoever gets the first goal.
Shut up shop and you try to hold on to a 1-0.
No, I just think you will continue doing what you're doing, which will then create more space. And on the back of scoring a goal, I think we'll end up punishing you.
Okay. AK, if you guys score first, we're fucked.
Yeah, that means we've got to come out. Try to break this down.
30 minutes, bro.
Yeah. I think this game is going to be either a 3-1 or a 3-1 or a 2-1 Arsenal game. I think you guys do score at the Bridge. Obviously, you're at home. You're going to find a way to get a goal.
Very confident again.
But I think we're gonna come there. We're gonna bang you guys out. That's what it is. Just straight up. We are the superior team. We currently are the better form. We have the better players. You guys have injuries. You guys are very vulnerable, and we're playing you at a time where there's still a lot of indecision in what your best.
Yeah, I agree with all that. We agree with that. But one thing I will say to you, just remember this.
Being said, Arsenal are the heavy favorites. If we lose, it's embarrassing. You can make jokes about it, and I do think that's how it is at this point. We are that team where it's like if we lose to any team, we're gonna get trolled. Chelsea lose to Arsenal, you're not really gonna get.
You've been that team though.
What do you mean we're not going to get trolled? Of course we are. You lot don't give us a break on it, mate. Always getting tagged with videos and everything.
Jem, I've been off Chelsea's back. I'm on Tottenham's neck right now.
Yeah.
Chelsea I don't have nothing to troll Chelsea about. You guys have a new manager. You guys are going through a process.
You said you've been superior, right? If superior to you is 12 games of a season, then that's fine. Yeah, you've
right.
been better.
I'm saying right now, going into this game, people would say we're the better team. That is a reason.
Yeah, based on form, 12 games. But you're not a superior team to Chelsea. Let me tell you that now. And another thing, let me just say this before you go.
Right now,
wait a sec. Before you go, in the last couple of seasons, mate, even though you've beaten us, you still finished below us. So that tells me we're still superior to you. Okay, so just saying.
You could say based on your average league position, you've been a better team. But right now, this Arsenal team is a better team than Chelsea.
Yeah, in 12 games.
Right now, who can be better than your world champions? Come on, man.
We're not world champions.
We're still top of the tree, bro. No one's won it yet.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We still got the gold badge on our chest. Even if they don't let us wear it for Premier League games, it's still.
And that's the other thing. You guys have to play Champions League to be able to get that. So just get in the Champions League for once. That'll be a good start before you start calling some period.
I win Europa. That would be a nice start.
If we win the Europa League, that would be massive. I would absolutely love that. But you know what? You guys have tried to make jokes. You can't really make jokes. The team's playing well.
We can.
We're still superior. I like the compliments. Trying to put us down the peg. It makes sense. But yo, Jem, thanks for having me on. Carefree.
No worries.
You already know what it is. Guys, don't lose your mind. Don't lose your mind if you lose, because it is expected to drop points to the team that's at the top of the table.
To you, not to me.
And if you guys lose to us and you fall off top spot, don't be too pissed about it either, bro. Don't be too pissed.
If we become the downfall of Arsenal after we beat you and you start losing games, then I'm all up for it, mate. I love it.
That will hit like Cali weed, bro. Please.
That's what I'm gonna say.
No,
you better not lose it, Gal. See you later on. Hey, the way you sound is that you better not lose. The way you're sounding,
it's okay. We'll pat you on the head. We'll say it's okay.
No, but you're making it sound like Arsenal just cannot lose this, and you're playing against fucking Southampton on the weekend, which is fine.
No.
We'll take that.
I'm looking at Chelsea. Bro, I know you want me to go now. I gotta stay.
Before you go. Champions of Europe, you'll never
see that.
The last team that said that to us lost 5-0. So
I don't put us on Forest level. Get back here. Fuck.
Arsenal fans for you, Lewis. I mean, we've still got over 300 people.
We win on Sunday, bruv. We better win. I've never seen these dickheads so confident.
This is the one game that I think me and you.
Bruv.
This is the one game I think me and you just cannot lose, because they just even on Twitter they seem to just come for us, and it does my head in.
They're so confident.
I know.
I was on a panel show yesterday, right? And Arsenal and Spurs fans were arguing over who's our rivals. Like, no, we're not your rivals. Spurs are your rivals. Like Arsenal fans, because they're top of the league. Like, we've outgrown Chelsea. And Spurs like, no, we're focusing on fucking United and them lot. We're not focusing on Chelsea. What the fuck has happened to us, bruv?
Bro, nothing's happened to us. They're just in their deluded land. I sat here with a gal for an hour nearly, and he's telling me how it's sustainable and that they're this really, really good team. And, you know, from what he's seen, it's 12 fucking games.
Sustainable my back foot, bruv. They are 2 injuries or a fucking jail conviction.
I told him
away
already.
from being fucked.
I gave it to him big time about. I said, mate, you lose. If you lose the 5, I said to him, we've lost Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Fofana, Kante, and Kovacic, who's even confirmed that he's injured at the moment. We're waiting to see. That's like 5 starting players in your team. You do that to Arsenal at one time, and let's see where you stand. He went, yeah, we ain't got the squad depth. I mean, so how is it sustainable, Miguel, if you haven't got the squad depth? It was like, well, you know, I don't know, mate. I ain't gonna get into it.
If they get one injury, if a certain someone gets arrested, they're fucked. But we move.
We've got over 300 people here. Still big ups to every 300 of you here, man. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you smash the like.
Goal against Arsenal. So fucking hit that like button, bro.
Hit the like. We haven't done the Chelsea lineup yet because I only got to do the Arsenal one. So let's do it together. Do we do a 4 and we do a 3, or do we just go for a 3, or what do we don't?
I go 3 because if we go 4, it's Asby on the right, and I like Asby, but he deserves better respect than getting ripped apart by Martinelli for 90 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So if we go Mendy, because we've got no choice at the moment, and I think it's his time to shine and show us that he's back. Mendy in goal. Your back 3 is quite easy, yeah? Koulibaly, Silva, and Chali, yeah? We're going for Silva and Chalobah. It just seems so. You know what annoys me about Arsenal fans and why I don't want us to lose is they seem so arrogantly confident, like they're this superior team. They've not been superior for fucking 20 years, mate. This fucking winds me up.
They smell blood in the water, bro. But it's cool. We're in the same position in 15, 16.
Blood in the water. And we're still transitioning. We've not even done what they've done, which is have that massive, huge blip like them and Man United have. We're actually trying to fucking continue and keep ourselves a level.
You know what scares me? That could be coming.
No, man. I don't. I hope not. I mean, we wait to see with Bowley and whatever what we do.
But I don't want to speak into existence, but fuck me, this season.
No, it does. But I think we knew this was going to be like this, Lewis. We could do it, especially after Tuchel getting back, Potter coming in. We got to have expected this, mate. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Go 3 in midfield. Like, is there a 3-5-2 or something?
There we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So in that, who plays in the middle? We saw Zakaria's performances. We don't know if Kovacic is fit yet. We've not had the Potter press conference to know if he's back or not. Jorginho has to start. Do we agree on that one? I agree for one.
We need that. We need a DM. I wouldn't even mind starting Zakaria, but it all depends on the other midfield injuries. So Kovacic trained today, so he's in contention. Carney has a slight issue with his hamstring. And I think that's it. Kovacic should be fit.
So he's going to come in for us. I actually think Zakaria should play personally, but then I get Kovacic and Jorginho playing. You could play Zakaria and Kovacic, but no, we can't. We've not.
You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I'd rather Zakaria and Jorginho in this game because I can't lie. Just the way they both complemented each other. I know it was Zagreb, but like. We've had so many midfield issues. Seeing something work like that, I'd rather give it a try in a league game. Even though I do think it's unlikely. Like I would really like to see the pair of them start.
Yeah, but is it too early to do that? That's why I think if Kovacic is fit, I think he's just going to frown back.
But it's like we've missed that profile so much, and we saw how well it impacted us on Wednesday. And it's like, well, we're just going to go back to Jovicic again after that. Like, I like Kovacic and Kovacic's quality, but like. If Zakaria can sit deep and make Jorginho's job easier, he can focus more on making forward passes, and we're a lot better as a result of that.
I hear that. Kovas is injured, Zakaria starts in with Jorginho. If Kovas fit, could you see, someone says you could see all 3 together, is what they're saying. I don't think so, because you will lose a Mount or a Havertz. I don't think he'll do that from the offensive side, because I think he'll still want us to be able to attack. But Hassan says Ruben right wing back. What are we saying about the right wing back? Are we going to see Apprehension helping Chalobah and Martinelli, or is Ruben going to come in?
No, I'd rather see Ruben there personally. I think anyone else you put there is getting battered. I mean, at least Ruben has a physical side to his game.
He does, but at the same time, Apprehension gives you the defensive aspect. Him and Chalobah and Martinelli. might be better.
Aspie's declining, bro. He'd get cooked.
I agree.
He'd get absolutely cooked.
I don't know, mate. It's a hard one. All right, we'll go with Ruben. He's in there anyway. This is the thing now, because we saw Havertz, Mount, Aubameyang, and Sterling. What is it going to be now? Because I don't see Havertz getting dropped. I'll be honest with you, not at the moment.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest.
And I'm not saying it because of fucking. I just don't. I don't think he will do it. I think he likes Havertz, and I think he's somehow getting to some sort of bit of form for us.
It's weird because I don't see any of Mount, Havertz, Sterling, or Aubameyang getting benched, but like one of them is going to be in this lineup.
Mount's going to have to play. So unless Mount, maybe he does drop out. Maybe he drops. He ain't going to drop Sterling, is he? Surely not. Maybe.
I'd go Mount, Sterling, Aubameyang personally, but I could see him go Mount. I could see him go Havertz, Sterling, Aubameyang too. But I think that would be our best 11.
I think if you want the help in the middle for these two, then you put Mount there, and he'll give you that. But I kind of like having Mount and Havertz in the team, and like Mount being the 8, like what we saw last, and Havertz as more of like the false 9-10, doing a bit of both up front. So I do like the 4.
I feel like they both play better without each other. They just occupy the same spaces.
No, but Mount in the last game was more of an 8. Havertz was more of the false 9, playing a bit ahead.
I'm thinking more about the Brentford game, not Brentford, fucking Brighton. Because I looked at the average positions; they're both literally tight to each other, and it happens a lot.
If people are calling for a back 4, do we give them the back 4?
But then who do you play right back?
Well, let's do it. I'd put Chalobah there personally. That's what I would do. I'd go Chalobah.
Says about Chalobah right back. Would that actually work? Have we done it before?
Well, he's played right wing back anyway. So as a right wing back, you're covering that. Not right wing back. Right centre back. He's played right centre back for Chelsea how many times? And what does he have to do in that job, in that role? He has to cover that space anyway. So him playing a little bit to the
right back, you got to bomb further forward at times too. Or actually, no. To tell a lie, you could have Cucurella pushed forward, one of Jorginho,
and then go into a 3.
Yeah, what I would do that could work. That could work.
You could have them as a 4, right? And then what happens when we're when we have the ball is Cucurella can go forward, and then these 3 can shift across, and you go into a 3 when we have the ball. When we haven't got the ball, we go into a back 4. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? That works fine. And then if that happens, then we take Ruben out, push Mount back, and put Havertz in.
What did we play last time against Zagreb? It was a 4-3. It was a 4-1. 4-1. No, it wasn't a 4-1. It was a 4.
Let me have a look.
2-1. It was a weird one, wasn't it? 4-5-1 with a 2. No, 4-4-2.
Against 2. Salzburg.
Yeah, no, Zagreb.
Oh, okay.
How did we set us up?
Zagreb, we played a 4-3-1-2. 4-3-1-2.
So it was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Jorginho, Zakaria, Mount in midfield, Havertz behind Sterling, and
then Sterling there, and then Mount. That looks better. Yeah, put Zakaria. No, what's going there? What is it? Yeah, and then what you do is you put Havertz. See, I would go with that. If we're doing a 4 and we're going to commit to the 4, which I don't think we will, that is how we go. But maybe Kovacic plays if he's fit, but we'll see. I'll have a stop with them too.
That's how we work. Yeah, that could work.
Because the reason I say that, right, is you've got more in the midfield with the 3 of them, right? Because you've got 3 in midfield, and that will help against Partey and Xhaka and Odegaard. We need that. That helps. All right, the back 4 could be isolated because they'll be up against Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli, all 3 running at them, which could leave them. But then it'll be down to the midfield and the defence to stay compact so there's no space in between, and then work together to win the ball backs. And then what you then do is you release Havertz to just sit here, and you keep Aubameyang wide like he was there, Sterling wide like we saw the last game, and you just try and every time you get the ball and you retain the ball, you look up and you find Havertz, which he's good at doing, in the pockets of spaces. And you feed him and just let him break. And then you break in, and then you allow them to break at Saliba, Gabriel. Gabriel's got a mistake in him, Lewis. I'm telling you now. With Sterling,
he should be
give a penalty. That's what I'm saying. He could give a penalty away against Sterling. You know, I think Sterling could have a go at that. Aubameyang as well. I just think that could work. But at the same time, I just don't know whether I want to see it against Arsenal or if I'd want to see it against a lesser team to start with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you. I do think this could work. Again, it all depends on the way Arsenal play as well. But Zakaria, Jorginho can interchange. Jorginho can push a bit further forward at times and pick out passes. As long as Zakaria is there to screen the defense, we're fine.
Unless we match them on formation, because they play a 4-2-3-1, right? So they look like that, but forget the way this looks. So the 4-2-3-1 is shit. They will look properly. So it's like that. So they have 4 at the back. They have Xhaka and Partey here, and they have Odegaard here, and then they play Martinelli, Saka, and Aubameyang. Unless we match
that, we put Havertz on the right. Then I'm guessing
just to counter it. Yeah, but maybe that's the only or. Yeah, exactly. And then you just play Jorginho in the middle, and then you just have. Well, no, you play Mount. Sorry, there as the 3. So Sterling, Mount, Havertz behind Aubameyang there, and you just use them. But then I don't like Havertz on the wing. That's the fucking problem. It makes it even harder. There. We ain't got the players for wingers. That's the problem. They've got Saka and Martinelli, haven't they? We've got Sterling. You could do it with Pulisic if you had him in there. But I'm talking about specifically playing it like Arsenal do, which means Sterling's up there and Pulisic's up there. So they're not actually like wing backs, if that makes sense. They're more focused on being up here and retaining the ball thinking. And you just use Mount and say, Mount, you stay in the middle with these 2 and you work and you get stuck in and you win that midfield battle. And then when we win the ball, we usually break
the attack on transition. Yeah, that could work as well. And either one of Pulisic or Havertz on that side, and we're fine.
I don't think Havertz as a winger is a good shout though. I don't think that works. That's the only thing.
He just roams about all the time anyway. He won't be stuck in that position.
Unless you put Mount there and then just ask him to drop in a bit and then just put Havertz a bit in that deep. I don't know, or whatever, vice versa. But if you don't match them, then you go to what we just had before, which I think we could do and it could work. But you need the back 4 and the midfield when being pressured by Arsenal to be able to pick themselves out of danger areas, like in danger moments, and make sure they make the right passes. And it'd have to just be perfect, is what I'm saying, Lewis. Tactically, we'd have to be so perfect. The system, like the movement off the ball, the 1-2s, when they press us,
even then we'd have to take our chances.
Yeah, and then on top of that, once we get to the other end of the pitch, it's about then taking your chances. You know what I mean? Winter services is Matt okay? I just saw the Kepa news. Well, I'll give you the links, guys.
Thoughts and prayers are with you and your other guy, Kepa. Hold that.
Come in for 20 minutes, guys. I'll allow you to come in for 20 minutes and give us your thoughts. I mean, Lewis, going into this game, are you confident or are you still... you think... Because a lot of Chelsea fans just feel very... Oh, we're going to lose. Like, what is that attitude?
Everyone's just shook. And I get it. Like, I am not the most positive of Chelsea fans. I do understand it. But for this one game, I'm throwing all logic and reasoning out of the window. We're fucking smashing these dirty little shadow-dwelling bastards. And I'm not hearing any logical reason as to why we're not. Because fuck them. I refuse to have them see us in a depressed mood. I refuse to let them go into this game feeling confident or comfortable. We can be on their necks. On their fucking necks. 100%. It's just whether we're our own worst enemy, like usual, or not.
I agree, mate. I agree with everything you are saying. Winter Surfer, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, yes, I'll just be quick. I don't fear Arsenal. I fear our team because I don't know how they're going to play.
Okay.
So I honestly, and league form. This isn't a cup game, so I know we're not going to perform really well because these guys don't like playing league football. We haven't beaten them I haven't beaten them home since 2018. I actually looked at our record at home to top 6 over the last 4 years. It's abysmal, man.
Yeah,
it is abysmal. Our record. It's like one.
Guess who was the last manager to win at home against a big 4?
Was it Lampard?
Yeah, against
Man City, right? Man City. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know, bro. I got a scary feeling he's going to play 3 at the back and put Ruben at right wing back.
Fucking hell! But then it limits our.
I've got that feeling, bro. I've just got that feeling.
Which I don't mind, but then it's just like we lose that.
It limits the midfield. That's the problem.
It limits the midfield, and that's where we lose the midfield.
Or he's going to start that way, and then realise we haven't got the midfield, and then have to make a first half substitution. That's what I feel is going to happen. So it's one of those things.
Yeah. Are you not confident? Like some Chelsea fans?
I'm not confident because this team doesn't give me confidence when they play in the league.
I don't blame you, bro.
They just don't.
I don't blame you.
I haven't. If it's a Jim, if it's a cup, I am confident in cups with this team. Okay, they love it. Barring that though, everyone's saying that Arsenal should win, so maybe this team loves being the underdogs as well. Do you know what I mean? They like being the non-favourites. Maybe we'll see that. Hopefully, but listen. If you offer me a draw right now, I might take it.
Yeah,
seriously, because we've lost the last two last two games where we were supposed to beat them. This is the other way around now. They're supposed to beat us, so maybe we'll beat them. So
we'll see.
Anyway, I gotta go. See you later.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Matt's here as well. I'm gonna come to you in a second. I'm just gonna quickly go to Jamie, yeah, and I'll come to you. 2 seconds, mate. Right. Jamie, what are you saying?
Hey,
hi, mate. I've been a Chelsea fan for quite a while. I just want to know how Ben Chilwell is going to cope on his scan. Do you know?
We don't at the moment. For all we know, that he is out for the World Cup. Obviously, we know it's a hamstring tear. We just don't know how serious the tear is. So it's just waiting to see whether he's going to be out for long or not. So it's still outstanding at the moment, Jamie. We'll probably get news on it soon. But what about Arsenal? What do you feel about Arsenal on Sunday?
Well, it is going to be a tough game. You know that. When we beat Arsenal back in like ages ago, when Champions League. I don't know when that was, but we beat Arsenal 4-1. I should imagine.
2010, 2011.
2010 was it?
11. Anelka. 2009. Anelka scored 2009. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was after the Barcelona game. It's literally after 3 days we played them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So go on.
It should be a good game, do you reckon?
Yeah, it will be a good game, mate. We obviously, not many Chelsea fans are confident with the game. Don't get me wrong. Fair enough, mate. And that's a good way to be. There's nothing wrong with that, Jamie. Be confident. We're the best team in London. We've always been the best team in London. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
They can say what they want to say, mate. But are you going to the game?
No, I'm going to watch it in high definition on my TV.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
At least you can switch it off if we're playing like crap. Fair enough, my guy. Big up.
Yeah, like me and Lewis, we're stuck there in the crowd watching it and just swearing at our players, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just one question for you. No, we've got the new manager, Graham Potter.
Yeah.
How do you think he's doing? Do you think he's doing better than Thomas Tuchel, do you reckon?
I think it's... Go on, Lewis. You go, mate. Go on.
It's a bit early. It's way too early to tell. I think the biggest issue people have with Potter is that Tuchel started so well. Literally fixed all of our problems and won us the Champions League. Potter isn't going to do that. We got to give him about a year or two, which is a long time. I get it. And things are going to get worse before it gets better. But I do believe Potter can be the long-term solution to our problems.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think it's very too early to even talk about or compare. We shouldn't really be comparing at the moment because it's too much early doors. And what Thomas Tuchel did at Chelsea is still good. What he did, at the end of the day, when people said we win a Champions League with him, it is what it is. But we need to see what Graham Potter does. But we'll go to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Big up everyone as well. I played this game about 10 times in my head. I've lost it 9 out of 10 times because I'm struggling to see where our goals are coming from. I know we will create chances. What Arsenal tend to do is they will give you chances. Arsenal haven't kept a clean sheet where they did against Nottingham Forest, but before that, they tend to concede goals, even against Forest. Forest had maybe 1 or 2 chances, but they didn't take them. So I can see us creating chances, but I just can't see us scoring, and that's what scares me. I feel like what we need to do. I agree with what Lewis was saying earlier. We need to be compact. We need to be. I don't even mind if we go back to park the bus for the first 30 minutes, because Arsenal start like a train. What they'll do is they'll press high in the first 30 minutes. If we pass that first wave of attack, I think we win business. But let's not concede early in this game. If we don't concede early, we keep it tight. I think we'll be fine. We just have to manage it every 15 minutes. Manage the game. This is where Graham Potter has to earn his money. Does he go back 4 or back 3? Personally, I agree with. I think a back 3, but if Zinchenko's playing again, that's gonna cause another issue. But then again, if Zinchenko is playing, that means one of our winger has to target the space that Zinchenko will leave. So maybe we're gonna. If you watch that preseason game, we lost 4-0. But if you notice that when we went back to a back 3 in that game, I know that's Tuchel, we kind of look all right. I mean, we had control of the game, as opposed to when we were playing in a back 4. So I just hope we play midfield 3, target Zinchenko, because he will tend to vacate that left hand side and join the midfield. So when he does that, maybe we tell Sterling to play on the right and really be a right winger, like literally into that space. So I really hope it's going to be a good game. And I hope Mendy, please, because Mendy and Jorginho are the 2 trigger point for Arsenal press. Whenever Mendy has the ball, they'll activate the trigger. And Jorginho, I hope Mendy is concentrating and not giving those balls.
This is Mendy's big opportunity to now, step up and get back into the form that we know. And Kepa's out.
Look at the games that we've lost. One thing before I go. Look at the games that we lost to Arsenal, right? Lampard first season, we didn't lose. We drew 2-2. But Kante slipped, and then I think they had the red card in that game. We drew 2-2.
Yeah.
And then the year after, Jorginho back pass, he gave them a goal. And then Havertz, I don't know how Havertz missed that chance. Still give me nightmare. And then last season, Christensen, I think that was his worst game in a Chelsea show.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
So we haven't lost. I haven't gone on an Arsenal game feel like they've beaten us properly. Apart from the way. So I think let's just hope the players use this as a motivation. We're the underdog. We bring our A game. The way we surprised Spurs at home early in the season, maybe we do that again. So yeah, big up everyone. Big up,
Rodrigo.
Big up, bro.
Up the Chelsea, man. Up the Chelsea. Big up to you as well.
I hope Mendy has a good game. I'm definitely sure he's going to have a brilliant performance. Switch their mic on as soon as I mention
it's in God's hands now. All we can do is pray.
I said the same thing about Kepa. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, Kepa had my magic spell. He had my magic wand, and it saved him. That's why.
Just back your players and stop moaning. All right.
I did say that. I didn't
like Mason Mount saying that. Bro, what was this video I see making the rounds? The day Chelsea sell Mason Mount, the club will return.
Yeah, I said on a Gal's stream yesterday, I'm done with Mason Mount. I think he's a finished player. He's not this generational talent we all think he is. He's a bang average footballer, and the day we sell him,
Matt,
the day I stand to go back to 2013.
What are you talking about?
Oh no,
I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know how you found out and how you.
You back Kepa, but you don't like him.
I support Kepa. And I did say that, if he continues his form, he could be a great keeper. But if you want to get to the top, we definitely need better players. But I said Mason Mount's this player that people just protect too much. He needs to be. We have to be honest with this guy. The guy's bang average. You can't sit here and say that he's a generational talent. The guy's nearly 24.
Is it just Mount?
No,
it's not just Mount. It's Havertz. It's Ruben the Clubsman's cheeks. It's half the team. These guys are all arse. I said 11 out of these 23 players as well. Jim, you got to be honest, Jim. You got to be honest. I know. Maybe you've been listening too much to Johnny, and Johnny uses his magic spells to brain fucking shut off your brain and you start just waffling on when you talk about Mount.
Fuck it,
But when
going on about.
But you got to be honest with your Mount and say
That's
that
saying you got a mineral overload, bruv.
Apparently, I've got a mineral overload. You know what I mean? Yeah, go on. Anyway,
we don't say that word. We don't say that cursive word.
It must have been you that created that account in the in the chats.
I don't waste time in creating accounts.
Yeah.
I don't waste time in creating accounts. I say it with my camera on. That's what I do. And I said it.
Listen, you should know me, mate. I always say what I think, mate. Anyway,
Matt, your camera's off, bruv.
Yeah, now it's off because I'm lying down, I'm relaxing, just time for work. But I was on a gal stream this morning, and I was saying, Mason Mount's a bang average footballer.
He's looking at that Kepa poster he has in his room, man.
He's right here. He's with me. But anyway, yeah, it's going around. Obviously, the Mason Mount stands have found that, and they've used his goals and assists against Norwich to say that he's a good player. But the guys are rubbish.
I'm just saying Mason Mount. This is the real bill and end all of it. I find it fucking ridiculous that our fan base are even doing this. To be honest, you got one side of the fan base that think he's shit, and when you see him in the lineup, they cry like babies and say, "Oh my god, why is he playing? We're going to lose." Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous. And on the other side of it, you got Johnny Minerals, who just thinks he's fucking God's fucking peace, Jesus' son. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is you've got one extent of one side, and on the other side, you've got the other extent. Where the fuck is the balance in all of this? Why can't you just be in the middle and say he's a good player, but there's a system that's not working?
That's what I just tried to do. Mount's all right.
Why is it one extent to the other all the time with this fan base?
I have said Mount. I said Mount's a bang average player, Jam. And if we want to keep finishing 5th, 6th, yeah, keep him for sure. Why not?
It's your opinion.
If you want to get to the top,
it's right.
No, it's not, Jam.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, it's my opinion. Of course, it's my opinion. But I'm looking at the statistics. And I'm saying that him scoring against Norwich and Watford and not coming against big games when we need him is not a good player.
But the thing is,
having 16 goals
in the background now. Why would you do that?
Wait.
The thing is, though, like,
yeah, you pissed him off now. Fuck's sake.
Bring him in, bro. Bring him in.
No, that's outrageous.
No,
that's outrageous.
Is he even backstage?
No, it's Stills.
Obviously, Johnny doesn't want to. He sticks on his own channel. I respect that, but he doesn't have arguments because he knows he's wrong half the time.
Let's talk about Johnny anyway. Let Johnny do his thing.
Jam, you're the one who said it. You're the one who said it, Jam. You're the one who said it, Jam.
Just leave him alone. Anyway,
Jam, you're the one who said it, Jam. You're the one who brought up Jam. You're the one who
all right, Kepa.
Yeah, big up, lads. Hey, Matt, I totally disagree with what you just said about Mason Mount there, mate. You're a big love of Kepa, mate. You're a big love of Kepa. Kepa, what did he do against Brighton? What did he do at Brighton? What did Kepa do at Brighton, mate?
Back your players.
She won't go.
Oh, don't you say back my players, man. I want Kepa out. I wanted him out ages ago.
Good on you.
If you're gonna say
Mount can
your
walk with
players
him.
and stuff like that,
can we forget Agenda FC and go back to the game for a second?
All right, let's
Yeah.
Guys, it was good how Mount's on that lineup, though. It's good Mount's on that lineup. But Loftus-Cheek and right wing back, that's a problem, man. I mean, that's
no. You see, Chalobah right back. Chalobah right back. Why not?
Well, we can't have anyone. We can't have anyone because everyone's either injured.
No Chalobah. Don't put Chalobah right back. Don't put him right back. No Chalobah right back.
So you're saying a back three, yeah? Back three.
Guys,
anyway,
there's literally loads of people to talk here. We're gonna be here all day if we argue.
Right, let's go back into asking people to speak. CFC Cyprus, what are you saying?
Look, man, I mean, recent times, we had so many injuries, N'Golo Kante, Kovacic, Reece James, and they're like big names that are missing from the starting 11. And it's a big issue. When I came to watch the game against Manchester United, I was like, come on, man, we got this. And, we were getting battered and shit. Last week against Brighton, we got fucking battered because we had these big names absent from the starting 11, and we had some struggling issues. Mendy didn't play well. No, wait, sorry, my bad. Thiago Silva didn't play well because, as you have seen, it was a big issue. Missing this kind of big players who make the difference. But look at us now. We have a decent squad. I mean, even we have these big players missing, we need to fill the gap with players that can somehow substitute them and make them feel like they're good and consistent. But with Chelsea, we need to show that DNA when the club enters the pitch, like we are going to win. We are playing Arsenal Sunday. We have this mentality of winning. But if some of you know and are the people who analyze stuff, you will see that we haven't beaten Arsenal in the bridge for quite some time, which is a bit annoying and stuff. But we hope that this curse gets lifted on Sunday, and we hope to beat them because, you know, this will be a big boost on our morale on our way to finish into the top 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know why people were so like shit with the whole Arsenal thing. Like, I mean, CFC Cyprus, are you worried about Arsenal as well? Do you think it's a thing of like we should be worried, or do you think it's just on Chelsea and how they turn up?
Look, man, Arsenal have been doing pretty well this season. I mean, they had an amazing start in the season so far, and they've been brilliant. But you know, we also had this poor start on the season, same as again. You know, I had this chat with Lewis earlier, quite some time before, and he told me which players would step up with Potter, and I did tell him Kepa and Havertz, but turns out Kepa did brilliantly well, if you remember, Lewis. But
yeah, Lewis, do you remember that, Lewis? Do you remember that? He's hiding.
But the thing is right now that, you know, Chelsea, I don't know. I mean, I kind of miss the feeling of watching Chelsea being so dominant and being at the top of the league. You know, I just have this nostalgia of wanting to lift that Premier League title. But the thing is that now we are Chelsea. We're struggling with an issue right now that we need to find a consistency. We need to find players that can play well. And I hope that this group of squad can turn up on Sunday against Arsenal, because that will give us a big boost of morale. But furthermore, we do have this new difficulty coming up in the name of Newcastle United, which are going to battle it with us for the top 4. And I think it's going to be quite difficult. But if Chelsea play for the crest and for the name and for the shirt, then I can guarantee to you that Chelsea can definitely prove
beat
to us many wrong in the season and beat Arsenal. That's what I think.
That's the attitude, mate. That's what we need. That's the attitude. Come on, up the Chelsea. Hassan, go on, mate. What's your thoughts on the weekend?
Yeah. Can you guys see me clearly? Hello?
Yes, mate. We can hear you.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't know. StreamYard sometimes bugs out whenever I unplug the mic. But anyway, about this game, right, and this upcoming game, I know a few of the things I'm going to say is repetitive or is echoed by someone a bit of the others. The last 3 head-to-head games we should have won, and we should have won while we were being strong favourites. The first head-to-head is where, if you guys remember, and I don't want to bring up bad memories, where Xhaka turned into prime Zidane, scored top bins against us. We lost that game 3-1. There was another one where, I think, what was it? As well, 2-2, we should have won that one. What else was there? There was another 3-1 loss, I think it was. I think that was the last one or the one before. But what's so annoying is whenever we go there strong favourites, we end up losing. I just lost faith in this team. Like, it's not about what you said before, Jem. It's not about the fans being scared about Arsenal. It's about them being more or less like they've lost faith in the players. They know that 80-90% of the squad is bang average. The funniest thing is we turn on the ones where they've been the most consistent or they've bailed us out the most of the times, but they like to defend these flicks and tricks merchants. I just don't get this fan base, Jem. They slate, like, this is not directed at anyone here, but they slate players like Mount, but pick up Oscar. I mean, I'm sorry, but this nostalgia blind you. He was bang average, flicks and tricks. Like, Mount's done more than what Oscar has done for us. Like, it's as simple as that. And the metric that they've used, I'm not gonna deep into it, but if you talk about Foden and the quality of teams that he scores against, we're gonna have a long conversation. But that's a separate debate. All I'm gonna say is a lot of these players are bang average, and we're targeting or we're scapegoating certain ones. Let's be honest, we are scapegoating. If Mount's not playing, we'll scapegoat someone else. If someone else is not playing, we'll scapegoat someone else. But yeah, Potter's got a lot of things to do. There's lots of injuries. And it's just a shame, really. If we had a full strength squad, I would go into it with a little bit of confidence. knowing that they've played a Thursday night, and Thursday and Sunday mornings are killer games. But the fact is, and the fact is, we got a lot of injuries. Mendy's come back. Mendy's come back and he's not really much sharp. So it just depends what kind of Mendy we get. If we get a normal Mendy, or if we get that big game Mendy that pulls off saves like he did against Liverpool and stuff like that. Besides that, there's more things to be pessimistic about than there is to be optimism. But hopefully, I just pray that Aubameyang somehow turns up, because he's got a point to prove. If he turns up and does what he did before, score 1-2 shots or score a brace, we have hope. And I also have hope that Chalobah also turns up, because he loves them big games. But it's all on Potter and how he sets up. If Potter sets up badly the first 20-30 minutes, they're going to end up scoring, and we're going to have to go all out attack. And you know what Arsenal do after they go 1-0 up? They sit back and hit us on the break.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what I said. I think the first goal is so important in this game, and I think it will set the tone. And I think if we do get it first, they will continue to play with that high press and intensity, and it'll just be down to us to break them down cleverly, but not also panic because we do play out from the back. And it's when you look at Chelsea, it's always like, and I always say that, we're always like individual RFC. We always make we're the root of our own downfall to goals sometimes. Like if you look at the goals we concede, it's like it's because of the lack of concentration or just the panic in the shit. Like if they just play to the way that they're being asked to, trust themselves on the ball, play the ball forward quickly when the forward line find themselves in pockets of spaces, feed them quickly. Yeah, you can hurt this Arsenal team. I'm telling you, Ramsdale's not a great goalie. He's an okay goalie. He's not great. You test him enough, we'll get some goals past him. Gabriel's got a mistake in him all day, providing you keep getting the ball down that side. He's going to do something stupid at one point. It's just in his genes. Like they're not this team, like the way Chelsea fans are making it sound like, and I saw in the chat someone go, well, why should we be so optimistic? They're not Man City level. They're not like this unbelievable great team. They're a good team in very good form with a question mark behind whether they can sustain it. That's all it is. We were top, like I said, last season in December. We were top last season in December by 6 or 7 points. And by January, we were third because we got hit by injuries. They haven't got the squad depth to even cover the 11 that they've got on the pitch. If they lose 2 or 3 players, they are in trouble. They will drop form and they will lose games. Arsenal, they will.
So true.
So it is what it is.
True, we were 10 points. We were 10 points clear last season in the top of the Premier League. And we was up top for 3 months. And did we blag saying we were going to win the Premier League that season? No, we didn't.
I didn't even believe it would win it last season anyways. Yeah.
They just do what Liverpool do in my eyes. Yeah, when Mane was there and they had Salah and Firmino and they played that high intensity, you'd go to their ground and for the first 20, 30 minutes, the crowd will get behind them and they will just be in your face and they'll win the ball back quickly and create as many chances as possible and try and get as many goals as they can in that period of time. That's what they're doing at the moment. And that's how I see they play. And it's effective. It's very effective because they've got the players to do it and it works for them. However, if we stay in the game, if we get 1 goal, if we're still drawing by half time, I promise you they will start sitting there and scratching their heads and being like, what's the plan B? What are we doing now? And that's where I feel we may have the edge on them because we do have the options to switch things in between games, in our formations, in our systems, the players. Even though they're not great and some of the people don't like certain players, I get that. But they give us something different when we need it, if we need it. That's what I'm saying, So like, it's just how long Chelsea can stay in the game for me is what I'm saying. True Blue, what you saying?
Hey, Jem, big up, Jem, big up, Lewis, big up, everyone. I think just a couple of things to really talk about, Igal, man, all chest right now. But that team is 1 injury away from a train wreck. Right, I'd like to see how Arsenal cope with the kind of injuries that we have. They haven't been tested yet, and they're going to be tested very soon. Like you said, it's all down to form right now. But look at other teams; they're massively out of form, dropping points all over the place. So Arsenal's basically taking advantage of other teams being poor. For us, I'm not scared of Arsenal. I don't think there's any reason to be scared. I think we need to be confident. We need to take our chances and finish those chances. Arsenal scored the most goals in the first 20 minutes in the league right now. And we need to be able to stem that pressure. We found it difficult against United and went through the same thing in the first half. If we are on point for the first 20 minutes, I think we're in the game. I think we have a chance and we can get at them. They can be got out. I think Potter's got to be really, really tactical about this. It's going to be interesting to see how he sets up the team, considering the resources that we have at hand. But it's his tactical nous that's going to be on display right now, and I think a lot of fans are going to be judging that as well to see how he does with these kind of resources and the injuries that we have. But the players need to step up. That attack of ours need to finish those chances. We do create. It's not like we don't create. We need to just get that ball in the back of the net. Sterling needs to do well with his finishing, man. He needs to really, really up his game if he starts this one. But the last thing that I'd like to point out is the bridge has got to be banging. It's got to make that noise. We've been quite somber for the last few games, and the fans need to get behind the players and push them, because this is the bridge. It's up the Chelsea, man. We can't take them easy.
I'm muted, didn't I? Sorry. Yeah, I agree. Well said as well. I liked what you said, to be honest. There's a lot of thoughts in that as well. I'll big up to you for that. AJ, what you saying?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
All good, bro.
I'm gonna piggyback off what True Blue is saying, because he said a lot of facts and he's saying what I'm thinking. You know, we the past few games with Potter, we haven't started ideally, whether it's been him getting the lineup wrong or the energy just not being there, or just, you know, a mix of both. I think at this point, you know, Potter has had, you know, a certain amount of games now. You know, we can't start slow tomorrow. We can't also give the team too much respect. When we played United, we played with a back five, and it was like maybe 4 center backs in there, or it was Cucurella and Chilwell on there, and it's just it doesn't work. It's like we had to make the change, and then now we're in the game. We actually almost won that game. It's not for a last minute goal by Casemiro, then we're talking about 3 points. So I think tomorrow it's imperative for Potter to get the lineup right, get the balance right, and get the team ready to start from like minute 1. Before, as soon as we're in that tunnel, like the game starts there. You got to be ready. So, you know, I just hope that, you know, we don't come out timid, and if we could get that first goal, you know, it's game on from there. Like somebody else said, Arsenal normally blitzes teams. You know, that first 20-25 minutes, they're scoring 1-2 goals. If you do that, you know, you just see out the game now. You see out the game, and then you take your opportunities. And that's probably how I didn't watch the game, but they ended up winning 5-0. Nottingham Forest is probably what happened, you know? So we just got to start properly. And I honestly, I think a 3-man, like we have to just stick with the 3-man midfield. We have to, and it has to. I think we have to stick with the back 4. You know, I know everybody says, "Oh, we can't play back 4, we can't play back 4," but we can play back 4. You know, we just have to have the right profiles in the midfield. And I know Zach, he's played his first game, and it's something to throw him into a game now. But this guy's an international. This guy has played big games. He's probably been to the World Cup. You know, these are big professional players, man. Just play these guys. So I'm hoping I saw the lineup. I came in late, but I saw the lineup you guys chose, but I don't like that lineup. Mount has to be in the lineup, and I think we have to play a back 4 if we want to, because this is a game we have to win. You know, our season depends on this game when it comes to top 4. Arsenal is 10 points ahead of us. If they win, it's 13 points. Like, that's disgusting. And then and Newcastle, like these next 2 games before the World Cup are just massive, bro. So we have to come in the game with big chest and just go to win the game. Seriously. Somebody got to step up.
Yeah. Who's the third attacker then, Jem? Who'd you put third attacker? Sterling, Abama. Who's the other one?
Well, it's a flick a coin for me, to be honest.
Depends on the setup.
Yeah, it depends on
who'd you pick though? Who'd you pick in that
line?
Who'd you pick?
It depends. I think if it's an 8 role, then I think Mount. But if it's more of a 10 role, then I'd say Havertz.
Trash first garbage.
See with me with that formation, like Chelsea would put, I'd put Sterling and Havertz, then Aubameyang, then have Mason Mount in the centre mid.
Yeah,
behind, or Havertz behind, then have Mount in the wing.
Mount on the wing.
Mount's not a winger. Mount's not a winger. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Mount's not a winger.
I know. I say, but Potter puts him as a winger, so we ain't got no choice.
And he needs to stop. He needs to stop.
He does need to stop, but he ain't gonna stop though, isn't he, Lewis? That's what he's gonna do. It's always and I have William Sterling at right wing back and left wing back. It's just gonna do. It's gonna do that. It's that same formation.
I hope he does not put Mount on the wing because that would be suicidal.
Mate, Al Gross needs to play as an 8, not as a wing, if anything. Okay. So
I don't know. If Mount and Havertz are in the same squad, we're playing a 4-2-2. That's the only way that would work.
Lewis, do you reckon we can outplay them?
Who? Arsenal.
In what way?
No. We have to sit back. We have to play transitional football.
So
I don't think we should sit back, Lewis, because if we sit back, they'll counter attack us.
And
how are they going to counter attack us when we're sitting back?
That's how Man United counter attacked them. They sat back.
Did they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we sit back, we can counter attack.
Yeah.
Not them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's be honest. We all know what they're going to do. The first 30, 40 minutes, they're going to press us and try to score. Once they score, they're going to sit back and counter. Because that's what they do. They're shameless. They don't care, bro. They play
Arsenal do it all the time. Like. Arsenal study it all the time. They're always flipping, got so defensive against us and just break from a counter attack. We need to do it for them.
We're losing.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see a 3-man midfield: Zakaria, Jorginho, and Kovacic.
I would love to see Zakaria. I would love to see Zakaria play, but I don't think Potter will play him this Sunday.
John, pull up the lineup.
Because Kovacic he's playing on an injury. I'd rather we just start Zakaria personally.
I mean, this is probably a big. I mean, we do have City next
Zakaria has to start, man. He changed the way that the team functioned. If we just get, and that wasn't even our full midfield.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, this is his first debut, and he scored his debut goal against Savić. Yeah,
he can get subbed off. You know, it's no problem.
It was quality. It was quality that game.
We need that type of, especially with they have a strong midfield. When you look at Partey and Xhaka, that's a strong midfield. You know, that's strength, that's quality on the ball. They both can score. Zakaria played his first game. He already has an open field goal compared to Jorginho, Kova, RLC, Conte. These guys don't score goals. Look at the difference. He won the game.
No. But the thing is, though, we should have compared sixes based on goals. It's mainly the defensive.
It was quite progressive, which was good. That's what we should compare.
Midfielder to midfielder. That's what I'm comparing.
Oh, you're granted.
I hope Mendy on Sunday plays his best performance because
this obsession with he's a 6, he can't score. He's not. Listen, man. Anybody who could score a goal is valuable on the team. If Zakaria didn't score that goal, we wouldn't have won the game. And you talking about he's a 6, wasn't he? Said he was one of the 6s. So
it was back.
Look at the difference it makes.
I think the difference between them is Zakaria is more willing to have a shot from range than probably Jorginho will.
Exactly.
I don't remember the last time.
That's just his playing style. Like we don't have midfielders who score though. That's the point. Zakaria may be that first one who gets added.
I wouldn't start Zakaria. I'd probably bring him off the bench, but I wouldn't probably start.
Let's call him Zach.
Zach should come on the Sunday game because
you not start Pulisic. Would you not start Pulisic?
Arsenal would be scared.
Now we talk.
The American and Zakaria off the bench.
I think Pulisic has been one of the more effective forward players. Like when you compare him to Sterling, you know, the thing with Sterling is he'll score a goal. That's why he has to play. You know, his performances have been good, but he'll score a goal. So I mean, he's given you more goals than Kai. He's given you more goals than
any of our attackers that would do in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. Our strike when we don't score, that's what we're comparing to. And
Naturally. What's your favourite moment on the derby day against Arsenal? What's your favourite derby game against Arsenal, guys? Because he's asking the question.
When we slapped them in Europa League.
Yeah, and then we smashed it, and then we smashed them at their ground 6-0. Or 6-2. Or 6-2.
Guys, 1 second. Have we spoke to Gunamo yet? What's he saying?
No, we haven't.
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I've listened to your show for quite a while. What I would say as an Arsenal fan is it's an interesting game this Sunday. Due to the fact that we have a bozo gene at the back, and everybody probably knows about Gabriel. He's got a mistake in him.
Yeah.
And what I worry is if you guys press him enough, he's gonna give the ball away. He's gonna do some sort of mistake, just like in Tottenham against Tottenham. He gave a penalty away. The game against Liverpool, he gave a mistake away where he almost became a penalty, and plus he couldn't control the ball properly. So I think it was Diaz where he ran down the wing and crossed the ball in for Nunes. He's got a mistake in him. This is why I opted for Tomiyasu to play in left centre back, and I don't understand why Arteta has this obsession about playing a left-footed left centre back in that position when we clearly have Tomiyasu, who's defensively solid, who can use both feet. But it's just something that I worry because if you guys press him, it can be a bad outcome for us. But on the other hand, you've got our attack, and our attack is, I think, Gabriel Jesus got 7 assists and 5 goals. You've got Martinelli, who's got, I think, 5 goals and a couple of assists himself, and Saka, who's on 5 and 5. I mean, it's shared among that front three. You try to close one down, the other 2 are going to be free. So you've got quite the handful for yourself. But, I mean, if you keep it tight at the back and press Gabriel, I worry on Sunday.
Hey, Guna, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
With this Gabriel, you're saying that, at the back, and Ben White playing right wing back for Arsenal,
Yeah.
What is it with them two always slacking at the back? Because when at the PSV game, you saw them like struggling a little bit. But Gabriel Jesus, also struggling for your front forward. Why is he not scoring in much goals for Arsenal? What he did at Man City? There must be a reason.
I think with Man City, De Bruyne is supplying them with the balls, and everybody's just getting into the box and waiting for the ball to come. It's basically a sweaty at this point. With Arsenal, he's got more freedom. He always drops back. He has this habit of not playing in that position. He always drops back into the middle and tries to help out. And most of the time, him and Martinelli swap. So sometimes you're going to see Jesus on the left and Martinelli in the center, just like you've seen against Nottingham, where Saka crossed the ball in, but it was Martinelli who was in the middle. So they have this habit with Martinelli and Jesus keep swapping positions, which is a good thing because you never know. Just let's say the defender has Jesus' number. Now you got a new problem to deal with Martinelli, who's again probably one of the most rapid players I've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt. I mean, if you remember him and I think it was Diaz had a foot race and he toasted him in that race. I mean, Martinelli versus Chalobah is going to be interesting because Martinelli is quick, he's skillful, he's got the best take on in the league. So you've got a problem to deal with him, and you got Saka as well. Who's you probably
who's your best?
We can deal with Saka.
Who's your best strength for Arsenal? Because when I look at your formation, none of them, mate, they're doing good this season, but last season they were poor. But I think the only most best strength you've got in your squad is probably Thomas Partey.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Thomas Partey is too vital. I mean, he's I think he's press resistant. You try to press him, he's so smooth with the ball. Him and Saliba, every time Saliba has the ball, he doesn't just hoof it out. He gives it to Thomas Partey, who then dribbles past 2 defenders and gives it to Odegaard, who then creates a chance. I mean, Thomas Partey is too crucial for our build-up. And you saw what happened without Thomas Partey against United. We played a very, very high line, which I was against, because we had no Thomas Partey. Sambi Lokonga is just, I'm going to be honest, from what I've seen, I mean, people like Igal have this habit of trying to defend him. I mean, we're Arsenal Football Club, we shouldn't be defending people like Sambi Lokonga and saying give time. I mean, the guy is almost 24. We need better. Sambi Lokonga is not a replacement for Partey. And Partey, God forbid, if he gets injured, we're going to have a massive drop-off.
Yeah. Do you think your team could win the Premier League this season with the squad depth? Sorry, James.
Standards, guys.
What I would say is, look, I'm not banking on winning the league. I don't think we have a chance against City. I mean, unless we do some serious spending on January, I doubt it. I'm humble enough to say I'll accept top 4, but this season is just something I didn't expect. So let's say if Arteta does some serious business, covered Thomas Partey position, got a backup striker for Jesus because Nketiah is not it. I mean, Ben White has been solid at right back position. And we got Tomiyasu there as well. So, I mean, if we get a DM striker and a backup for Saka, then I'm confident. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I'm just silently confident.
Yeah, no, I just think, like I keep saying, 12 games in, you're in good form. Sustainability is the key thing here. Can they continue it, and can they keep your main core fit throughout that period? That's going to be the question marks. And maybe you do it. Liverpool did it when they won it. It happened for them. They kept their players fit all the way through. Don't know how they did it, but they did. You could do the same. However, you lose one or two players, important players, Partey, Martinelli. You know what I mean? In that period, I think you might find it harder. To see the same.
I mean, the one position I really fear, not even the Jesus, because Jesus, I mean, we're going to have a drop-off in the striker position. If, let's say, we lost Jesus, we still have the outlet of Martinelli and Saka, so I wouldn't be so, I would still be hurt by that, but I wouldn't be, too badly hurt by that, because we still got two other outlets that cause damage.
But you're also playing a lot of games.
Yeah, with the party position is the serious one. If he gets injured and Arteta doesn't spend the money and get a serious backup in that DM position, then I fear that we actually might not even finish in the top 4. That's how crucial he is for us.
Fair enough. Ace Ready says, just isolate Mount, easy win. Thank you for the donation. Who hasn't spoken yet? I do need to finish off soon. Showtime? What are you saying?
Yeah, good morning. Hope all you guys
afternoon,
are doing well. Afternoon for you. Good morning for me.
Good morning.
It's morning here too, bro.
Good morning, mate. Good morning.
Regarding tomorrow, man, it all depends on Harry Potter and what he brings if he waves his magic wand, to be honest, because this is a make or break for him. We went back to his home of Brighton last week, and he let them have that one. He came out lackluster. I was on him. I think this one is on him as well, is the way he starts. I second everybody's talk when it comes to Harry Potter and his decision making. It's the team that he puts out there that's going to determine whether or not this game is going to be a draw or a win, because I don't think we're going to lose to that team, that small club at all. I have faith in my club and I have faith in my team. When it comes to this lineup right here, I'm not too sure about it. You have to see inflation mount in this lineup. It has to play. I don't think we've ever seen inflation mount on the bench when it comes to these derbies. And I think Azpilicueta is going to end up starting as well, even though old man Aspie, I'm not favor him anymore. I mean, I think his time's come to an end. But
what do you guys think he's going to start this round? Do you think he's going to start against Martinelli?
I think he's going to start. I think we're not going to play at the 3 at the back. We're going to play with the 4 at the back, and he's going to play on the right next to Chalobah, just to give Chalobah that little more of encouragement as a senior player. And I don't think Zakaria is going to start, even though he had a good game against that small club that we played in Champions League as well. I don't think Zakaria is going to start. I think half-fit Kovacic we're going to play because we need to shore up that midfield. And I think that Zakaria will probably come off the bench. And I would like to see that, what's his name, Kukuameya, whatever his name is. I want to see if he's fit enough to play as well. I don't think he's going to start, but he should get some minutes as well. It's so sad what happened to Chilwell. After a whole year of not having him, he comes back and he's injured again for a long time. So we have to deal with the Spaniard and see what he can do with his hair. If he has a shitty game, honestly, I want him to cut his freaking hair if he has a shitty game.
Hey, I don't really worry about Kukurea. I just think with Kukurea, he will
he's far from the problem that we have right now, man. He's far from it. We have massive problems. And
he's a function of the problem.
No, he's not.
He contributes to the problem as well.
Can we have a minute of silence for Kepa, who's going to miss the whole year now? I didn't. I just knew that half an hour ago. Andrew just tweeted me. I was like, "Fuck, I didn't know." He's going to miss the whole year. How did he get injured? Come on, man. This is embarrassing.
Who's going to miss the whole year?
Kepa.
Kepa.
Another injury.
Kepa is
our
out.
number one keeper is now out.
Wait, what happened? What's the injury?
Foot injury.
He's out for the season?
I thought it was arm. I thought it was the arm injury.
Damn.
No, it's not.
I think it's probably where Matt was hanging onto his leg so much before he injured
May I ask, do we know anything about the injury of our players? When are they coming back or something?
2023, bro.
Yeah,
all next
honestly,
year.
next year.
So maybe this World Cup's a
2023.
blessing, right? That we've got all these
It is.
injuries and
It is.
the World
This
Cup.
is what happens when you have the World Cup in the middle of a season, man. All these players, they're worried about World Cup, and they don't want to get injured. Then they start playing shaky, and then look, injuries come like that. When you don't give you 100%, that's what happens.
Fofana and Reece James are back on at the Man City game in the Premier League
because
for
they're
next,
gonna
in the 2nd of January.
force them back to play the World Cup. Like, they're gonna
Jem,
force
put
them.
4-3-1-2.
Like, yeah, this World Cup time is horrible. I actually hope England get knocked out early.
No, yeah, that's what we had originally. 4-3-1-2. 4-3-1-2.
Anyway.
Do we have any news about Chilwell?
Right there.
Anyway, let's get this.
4-3-3-2.
Right there.
Something there. Right, just
in the middle row.
Middle.
Third row, I'll do that. Yeah, like that. Then do that.
This one is not bad, to be honest.
We gotta have Mount in there, though. Mount has to be in there.
Yeah, Mount.
Yeah, Ruben's left his cheek. Ruben's left his cheek out, man.
Honestly, the worst when he plays in that role.
Ruben will start over Zakaria any day in Potter's team. You know that's facts.
No, Kova has to
doesn't
be in this
start
team
over
as
Ruben.
well.
See, I'll put Mount if Mount starts if Mount starts anyway, it'll be instead of Havertz in that position. And personally, I'll start Havertz there. But obviously, Mr. PR Banner Boy Mount will start.
No, you wouldn't have Havertz, but he would.
I would switch.
Yeah, I will have him. Yeah, but I wouldn't have Mount in that role. I wouldn't have him there. I would rather have Mount in that cam role.
Mount
if anything.
I agree, but
PR Mount has to start because if he doesn't, the ball will get.
That's why I say Zach.
Potter.
That's why I say Zach for either Havertz or Sterling. Push Mount up.
I can see Sterling going back on the right wing back.
To be honest, I'll take out Havertz probably.
I think he'll put Aubameyang.
I'll take out Koulibaly, move Silva to the left, put Chalobah on the right, and bring in Aspilicueta.
Yeah. I mean, can Chalobah play on the? You think Chalobah is option for right back? Like, let's be honest.
No, I think.
No, but think about the squad right now. Think about the squad. And then think about Chalobah. Like, he's the next option. Besides Loftus-Cheek and Aspilicueta, it has to be Chalobah, right?
Chalobah should play right back. I'm sorry. I'm not having Aspilicueta getting raped down that wing, man.
We could have Koulibaly, Thiago, and
Chalobah. That I would.
Yeah, but James, he will put Aspie there. I'm telling you, he'll put Aspie there over Chalobah because Chalobah can't play right back. He only centre back.
No, but that ain't true. We've not seen. How do we know he can't play right back? He plays right centre.
I think he
could
could play right back, but just to give Silva a little bit more support, I'd probably put him on the right centre back.
I think he's going to do a back three anyway. I think this whole back four thing's going to be a waste. It's going to be Ruben on the right, and he's going to do it. And I don't want to see it, but
we just need to pack the midfield, man.
And our attack depends on if Havertz and Mount start. That's where our attack depends on. If they have a bad game, man, this all hell breaks loose from there.
Let's get score predictions because I've got to shoot, guys. I've got things to do. So go on. Lewis has probably disappeared. So seriously, Cyprus, what are you saying?
2-0, Abba Dagger. Let's go.
2-0 up there. There you go.
I
What are you saying?
We're gonna have a 2-1 narrow win.
2-1 narrow win. Okay, cool. We go Gunamo.
I think it can go multiple ways. If you guys play Aspilicueta and if you play Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think it can go as bad as 4-1. But if you keep it, if you guys like, and again, Mendy's suspect. So if we press him, then he's just gonna lose the ball. I feel like we can attack Mendy. I think we're at the bridge. It's a solid ground, but you guys haven't beaten us since 2018. I'm confident enough to say 3-1. But if you get a Gabriel, I'm saying a 2-2. But my mind's telling me I'm split between 2-2 and 3-1. That's what I would say.
Fair enough. What are you saying, Marina?
I'm going like that small club supporter over there. I'm gonna say it's a draw. I think it's a 1-1. The best thing we get is a 2-1 win from us. Sterling scores, Aubameyang scores. But 1-1 for me right now, I'm holding that 1-1.
Our football club didn't begin in 2004.
Small club, man. You haven't won nothing in how many years?
What do you mean? You have more trophies than you?
Yeah, no.
Yes.
You won trophies when I was 11 years old.
They ain't got no more trophies than us.
I'm twice now. It was a small club. Small
Football
club
didn't begin in
energy.
2004.
You in first place. This the
Guys,
first time you've been in
membership.
first in how long? Are you talking about?
Football
you
didn't begin
win the
in
tournament?
2004. I'm
Win
sorry, Roman
nothing.
Abramovich started your football club.
Right, big up everyone. I'm gonna bounce up the Chelsea. Also,
Big up Lewis, up the
Champions
Chelsea, big
Europe,
up
you'll
Lewis.
never sing that.
Before
See you
Roman,
later.
we see
Take care.
Chelsea. Before Roman, we see Chelsea as little Chelsea.
Oi,
Yeah,
Woolwich.
that's
Club, man.
Oi,
You won everything under
Woolwich.
Abramovich.
Come
He was
on.
a small club.
Woolwich Schooners. You ain't even
Guys,
you're not even a
remember
North London
so-
guy. You're not
I
even a
remember
North
the
London
game.
club,
I
mate.
do. I live in North
Woolwich.
London.
Guys,
And I do
Woolwich.
remember the
In
game.
20 years,
Guys,
we've
no,
won
I
everything.
remember-
What have you
I
won
do
in the last
remember when
5,
Mourinho-
6, 7,
Oi,
8, 9,
guys,
10?
let him finish
Go
the
and
Hey,
play
come on, man. Let's
domestic
just do
cups.
the. Don't worry about, man. Let's just do get every predictions of the scores, man. We know Arsenal are a smaller club. They're from Woolwich, but it's
come
all
on,
right.
man.
Anyway.
My predictions, Jez. My predictions for the Chelsea Arsenal game. Yeah, it's gonna be 3-2 to us.
Okay, fair
A
enough.
lot of confidence
That's fair
from Chelsea. I'm liking that.
I mean, we should do because we have been superior of you guys for a while. So at the end of the day,
Confidence comes from playing small clubs.
Anyway,
These are small
but
clubs.
let's not act like Chelsea haven't been a big thing. I don't want to get back into this because it's stupid to have this argument. But anyway, AJ, what you saying?
I'm gonna go 2-1 just because it's a must-win for Chelsea. Arsenal don't have to win, but I'm going 2-1 Chelsea.
Big up. All right, Hassan.
I'm gonna go with the 2-1 win, hoping that Aubameyang has a brace because he's the only guy that's he's the only guy that's wanted to probably win that game. So hopefully a 2-1 with Aubameyang brace. What I'm gonna think about Arsenal, that's for the agenda show. Leave that for then.
Yeah, we've got an agenda show. We're going to start doing the agenda show soon, actually, because there's too many agendas in this Chelsea fan base anyway. So it'd be good to discuss them at one point with people that feel the same and others that don't feel the same, but actually have a healthy discussion with actual facts behind it. Because I like facts. I don't like people going his shit, but you don't back it. I don't like people like do that because you're not giving me anything, just saying his shit. So you need to have some sort of backing behind your logical thinking, which is why we're going to do the agenda at some point. So yeah,
Hey, Jem, do you think Carney should start against Arsenal this weekend? Chumareka?
No.
Carney.
No.
I hope.
Well, how come?
Is he even fit enough?
He's not playing anyway.
It's good. It was good. It was good against Brighton.
He's
He's
injured.
not fully fit.
He's injured.
He's injured. Oh, okay then. Okay.
All right, let's finish this last bit off.
I'm going to go 3-1. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. And I think how it's going to work is
the Chelsea.
We're going to score first, and then we're going to score again, and then they're going to score. They're going to get 2-1. They're going to be like, yeah, we're back in this. We're going to do this. And then they're going to come out. And then later on, Gabriel's going to give a penalty away, like Gunamo said. And then Jorginho's going to put it in the back of net. And it's going to end like that. That's what I've got a feeling. But we will see. Ace Ready says, we've won it all. We've won it all. Thanks for the donation, brother. Big up to you, as always, for that as well. Guys, I'll be back for the match reaction. It could go both ways. Let's be serious. They could beat us 3-1. We could beat them 3-1. We do owe them one. Of recent past, when you look at the performances and their score lines, we do owe them one. And I understand why Gunamo's confident going into this game because we haven't played well against them.
They should be them a quick humbling. We need to small club.
Small club. Come on, mate. You're gonna bring the argument up.
You guys, man, back it up. There's no discussion. We know Arsenal are a small club, but anyway, Jem, I sent you a message on Instagram, bro.
You guys are gonna bring the UCL.
You're a small club, mate.
Villa's got.
We've got more clubs than you. Anyway, Jem, catch later, bro. Catch later, man. Up the chow.